Hello, everyone, and welcome to tonight's episode of Critical Role, where a bunch of us nerdy-ass voice actors sit around and play Dungeons and Dragons. I know it's November 1st, and Halloween was last night, but that's bullshit, because we would have missed Halloween, so we're doing it anyway.
Yeah! Halloween's when you want it to be!
Apparently I have a type when it comes to Halloween costumes, but after having enough people send me pictures of new Dante going, he looks like you, I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna embrace it. So yes, well, I guess we'll go around real fast and introduce our costumes, because it sounds like fun right now.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm Dante from Devil May Cry 5. The best I could do in 1 week's time, most of which was spent in London. What about you?
I'm Sherlock Holmes, because that's the best I could do in 2 hours' time, after figuring out that I was supposed to do this while working on another project. So yes.
There you go.
I am Ketchup.
Ironically, you did.
Do we have face paint that we can help complete the look?
Nope, this is it. $9.
Liam.
I'm Kylo Ren.
Perfect. Nothing else.
Oh, sorry, Dad.
Marisha?
I'm Lisa Frank Castle.
That's clever.
By far the most put together costume
you.
at this table.
Thank
Yep.
you.
And Travis.
I'm the bargain bin. I had a cowboy hat.
And I gave you some gloves.
I think these belong to an M&M character?
Yeah, or Pac-Man, I'm not sure.
Hey!
You look like you're trying to sell baked beans.
Yeah, I was a panda last night. I didn't have a fucking costume. I wasn't wearing that again. That shit was hot.
Oh, man.
Well, perfect. Sadly, we're missing Laura Bailey tonight. She is off doing rehearsals for BlizzCon tomorrow.
Yeah.
I will be there as well both days. So those of you who are watching or on the virtual ticket, check it out because there's some fun stuff going on. But before we get into the rest of our announcements, first we have two fantastic sponsors tonight. The first of which is the fantastic Tor Books. Liam.
Tor Books.
I have come from a galaxy very far away to talk to you about Tor Books. Tor Books is America's largest. This is serious. Largest publisher of science fiction and fantasy. From Tor Books comes Oathbringer. In Book 3 of the Stormlight Archives, humanity faces a new desolation with the return of the Voidbringers, Matthew. A foe with numbers as great as their thirst for vengeance. Find Oathbringer out now in paperback wherever books are sold. For more of the latest science fiction and fantasy releases, follow @Tor Books. That's T-O-R Books. I'm going to resume doing unspeakable things. Tor Books.
Kylo Walken? I'm trying to...
I think that was Jackie Mason. It's a really bad Jackie
Listen to him again. He has a very subtle Brooklyn accent.
Very a hint, yeah.
Yeah.
I like it.
Well, you've directed him, so you would know.
I did one time, yes.
Anyway.
It was great. It was great. It's a great project. I love Star Wars. I'm dressed as him.
Thank you, Lee. All right, and our fantastic returning second sponsor for tonight are our friends at D&D Beyond. Sam.
If you have somehow still not checked out D&D Beyond, it is the official digital tool set for Dungeons and Dragons. Everything is there at your fingertips. The source books, the digital character sheets, the homebrew content creation. Go to dndbeyond.com now to check out how easy they make playing D&D. Now, you guys all know that first and foremost, I am a filmmaker, and I am proud to announce that tonight I've teamed with D&D Beyond to create my first ever foray into stop motion animation.
You did not.
I don't want to say that it's better than The Nightmare Before Christmas,
Okay.
but I'll let you guys say that. Wait till you see it for yourself. Let's roll my film.
Oh my God, what have you done?
Oh my goodness.
Bum bum ba bum bum ba bum 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 ba bum 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 ba bum ba da bum 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 ba 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 bum ba da bum 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 ba 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 bum 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 ba bum ba 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 bum 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 ba. Thank you. You know, it was any film like this is a collaborative process. I have so many people I want to thank. I'll try to keep it quick. Our cinematographer, Giuseppe Pfister, wonderful work, powerful work. Our gaffer, Blumpkin Styles, the most daring in the biz. Sound mixer, Randy Cockburn, didn't think you could pull it off like that. Best boy, Mike Litteris, I can't believe I found you. Our producer, Willie Stroker, you've got a finger on the pulse, sir. Casting director, Ima Dumas, and of course my agents at CAA, Amanda Hump, Keeper Cummings, Dixon Beavers, Harry Sachs, Otto B. McCracken, Wilma Fingerdew, Irma Wanker, Drew P. Weiner. No, I'm sorry, Drew P. Wiener. Thank you all for believing in this project. Also, my inspiration, my mentor, Hugh Janus. Mr. Janus, wherever he is, I think Hugh Janus is smiling down on all of us tonight. And of course, D&D Beyond, we did it, guys. It took 3 years, but we did it. Thank you.
Well done. Thank you, Sam, and thank you, our friends at D&D Beyond, for making this happen on a weekly basis.
Wow.
Halloween party yesterday. How did you have time
I
for that?
know. We were in London 2 days
3 years.
ago.
3 years it's been in the works.
It's been in post for months.
I'm so glad that DreamWorks is willing to work with you based on how much Disney you would do. All right.
Yeah, I have to add also, I forgot, I just announced I'm going to be at LostCon November 23rd through 25th, so if you're in LA and want to check out the convention, I'll be hanging out there talking about D&D and voiceover and all sorts of things like that. So
awesome.
LostCon, LOSCON. So yeah.
Hell yeah.
That's what I got.
5,000 new. All right, so our final episode of this batch of Between the Sheets aired this past Monday and is now available on YouTube, where our fantastic host, Brian W. Foster, talks to me. It's a bit of an emotional one, but I hope you enjoy it. Check it out on at youtube.com/criticalrole. And yeah, I think that ends this batch. We'll be back very soon with the next batch of new guests and new stories. The fantastic host.
Real good, Matt. You did a great job. I watched it on the cab ride home from the airport.
Oh shit! Thank you.
So good.
Thank you.
So good. Amazing.
I didn't expect it to get as deep as it did, but here we are. Anyway, I hope you enjoy it. The next episode of All Work No Play will debut this Friday at twitch.tv/criticalrole at 7 p.m. Pacific time. This week, Liam and Sam learn how to fire spin with our own, my wife, Marisha Ray.
Yay!
Survived, clearly.
We survived the burn. Yeah, you were great, Marisha.
The other
I was
two,
honored.
though. I'm excited to see it. I've only seen bits and pieces, and it's pretty absurd.
Your wife shines.
But only from the fire.
I was gonna say that's
No, the other two ignite.
flames.
So check it out this Friday at 7 p.m. Pacific. Travis, you have something to talk about?
Yes, through the month of November, we are raising money for my favorite charity, Operation Supply Drop.
Yeah!
They are amazing. OSD has helped over 750,000 members of the military community with supply drops. They have initiatives, they have job training, they have skill workshops for people that are going from active military work through their transition into civilian life. And they just touch so many people. I love this organization. I've been following them for years. If we hit our $25,000 goal, we are going to host a special first-person shooter stream with me.
Oh.
Yeah. I used to be good. I'm not so much anymore since baby days, but I'm like gonna train.
Oh my gosh.
I'll have like a montage.
Deep down that rabbit
That's
hole
good,
for
right?
years. Oh my God. I liked playing with you. Never won, but I enjoyed the process.
Thank you, right? It's all about the commentary that happens, right? And if we hit that goal, we will do that. Details and to donate, you can see everything at critroll.com/OSD.
Woo!
Yeah.
Amazing. Amazing.
Thank
So
you,
great.
Travis.
Thanks.
Daylight savings time hits the U.S. this week. So make sure for those who are outside of the U.S., as far as like times, you can check out the shows and our rest of our content. Go to wheniscriticalrole.com for updated air times in your time zones. So keep an eye out on that.
The good kind of time change again here.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
gain
Gain an hour.
You fall back.
We sleep
That's good.
longer.
Yes,
Yeah.
we gain an hour.
So it's bringing forward, which
I
sucks.
need that.
I'm
With
at
our
6 hours.
archaic, unnecessary means of changing our time
Damn
zones
you,
here.
Benjamin Franklin.
I know.
We're getting 2 daylight savings times because we have one in
got
London
one in
too. So we
London,
got
yeah.
we get 2 hours.
Yeah, it's nice.
Should like
Don't
travel the world.
think that works that way. but
Sure it does.
They don't
You might be
stack,
right.
Damn it, they don't
You
stack.
might be right.
I want a judgment call on that.
Fair enough. All right.
Flag absolutely destroyed any gain we got.
I know.
I'm well aware.
Last but not least, I want to thank all of our fantastic European critters and beyond who came out to MCM London this past weekend.
Seriously.
Shit.
Our first European convention, and it was magnificent. The turnout was insane. You guys broke MCM London, confusing all sorts of other guests about what the hell this thing is. I love the fact that Kit Buss, our official artist in the first campaign, had a far longer line than Frank Miller the entire weekend. It was pretty fantastic.
All the love in the world
Frank
for Frank Miller.
Yeah,
of course.
legendary Frank Miller.
He's phenomenal.
That is crazy.
But he's not Kit Buss. I mean,
But also lots of love to Kit Buss, who is a good friend of the show and a good friend of ours. And it was so cool meeting you guys from all over the fucking planet, man. Amazing.
got to meet like a bunch of people from the CR Translate team, a bunch of fantastic artists and writers and just general amazing community members. Thank you all for coming out.
And of course, our squeef.
And of course, our squeef.
Yeah.
Legitimately fantastic gentlemen. This definitely will not be our last time to Europe. Don't worry, because that was amazing.
Laura and I will get our travel situation fixed. We didn't know raw plutonium was not allowed in the UK. We travel with it always. It is a fantastic gem, right? You
Yeah.
charge it under the moonlight,
Yeah.
and it just radiates.
It's your wedding bands. You can't
Yeah.
take that off.
And what's great is the longer you keep it next to Ronan, he doesn't actually have to feed.
Oh, Jesus.
Hey, how you doing?
I believe that's the extent of our announcements, and as such, that brings us in to tonight's episode of Critical Role. Points to Travis on that one. See ellipses at the end there for me, like a little squeak. So, last we left off, the Mighty Nein, in pursuing a thread of a mysterious orb that seemed to connect in some way to the entity in which Ford has somehow connected himself to, and as such been granted these strange eldritch powers, led you southward from the Menagerie Coast after commandeering a ship called the Mist, turned into the Mistake, followed it through some dangerous reefs to a pirate ship called the Squall Eater, and there on the Captain Avantika. you made a pact with her, as whether the choice was to either die, to help aid her and a companion she had hired for this to help navigate this island, this kind of strange, seemingly dangerous or cursed island, to which you made your way through the jungles of this Urukazel. Managed to avoid lizard men, managed to barely sneak through an ancient city of Yuan-Ti, making your way to the top of this temple and through the interior. A series of battles later, an encounter with a strange, lightless internal orchard in which 2 of the fruit within had been eaten by 2 members of your team and have been tripping balls ever since.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
You made your way to the bottom subterranean guardian chamber, where you met a Yuan-Ti abomination that was laying guard, it seems, to the true guardian, a large hydra. Now, the hydra had turned around and laid waste to much of your party, but you managed to, through a series of clever choices, uses of fire magic, and some rapid assaults, managed to cleave all the heads from its body and kill it just in time. Its corpse now lying fresh onto the ground, Captain Avantika seeming pleased and impressed by the display of these strange new compatriots that have now come to work under her. You now sit within the stillness of this chamber, able to now finally take a moment to look about and see what secrets or mysteries it holds. So, Mighty Nein, what would you like to do?
Was any of that real?
Oh no, you're still.
We just need to wait this out. We killed all the creatures.
Is it the 2 of them that are tripping?
How,
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
how many eyes do I have right now? Because it feels like I have 3 of them.
You do. You have 3 eyes.
That's good. That's good.
What's Avantika doing?
Avantika at this point is sitting down for a second and just kind of getting her breath. The rest of you who are still like up in the hallway, which would basically just Jester, Caduceus, and Jametti and Caleb all begin to slowly descend the stairs.
Yeah, it's been a fucking thing in here. What's so funny? Hey, zip it. The Hydra, did it back into the hole? Or
No,
is it still out?
it's currently slung over the side of the staircase that curves down into the subterranean chamber, yeah.
So,
How do they make you sound differently? It feels like you sound different because of the gloves. But I think it's
they're-
just in my head.
yeah, just in your head. I just, I got stung by some wasps out by the bar. Y'all have Benadryl?
It's like 2 healing potions and an EpiPen. Hold on.
Yeah, that was a thing. Caduceus,
Yeah.
is Jametti up there?
In theory.
Jametti's currently standing at the top, kind of glancing around the side, and
I assure you it's safe now.
Oh, yeah. Hey, you guy. How come you did not do anything?
kind of glances around and steps down another step. I was not paid to do anything of this sort. I was a guide. I was to delve. I am not skilled in the ways you are, and I'm not stupid to throw myself in front of a beast so large.
You worried you could maybe die?
Yeah, it was pretty touch and go. You want to sit back and stay safe and then get eaten? I am really not myself right now.
Yeah, you're being like super aggro.
Breathing real hard.
It's kind of intense.
Is Maddie wearing any weapons?
Actually, make a perception check.
Actually, I'm gonna use this new D20 see how that goes.
Oh, where'd you get that?
The con. Aha! That's
Wow,
good.
good start.
That's a good start. 27.
Looking at this person, he has a short bow and a dagger, and that is it. He's not armed for a means of any sort of main assault. In fact, most of his equipment and materials and the way he's armored and dressed is for expediency, lack of sound, and meant to blend into his surroundings fairly easy. A lot of like browns and grays and dull greens. He's definitely more of a scout and a tracker based on his skill set from what you've seen than any sort of frontline fighter.
I want to go over to Avantika.
She's, as you kind of approach, you can see she gets up and rummages off the side and pulls off a small lantern that she kind of keeps knocked into the side of her belt.
Do I see anything else tucked up under there while she's doing that that looks of interest or of importance?
Make a perception check.
Okay. 19.
19. Nothing in particular beyond what she previously had that you can tell at the moment, no.
Okay.
But it's like a small lantern, maybe that big, and she pulls a piece of cloth out that was meant to keep it from making or clattering or making any noise on the inside. She pulls out the cloth, tucks it into a pocket, and watches. She kind of ignites the end of an oil wick, and the lantern kind of glows a bit and gives off some light. And she begins kind of walking along the walls of the inside of the chamber.
I'm gonna take. I'm actually. I'm gonna cast Detect Magic.
On the lantern?
On everything.
On everything.
I'm gonna, including our friends and everything in the room.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll mirror Avantika's movement on the other side of the room.
Okay.
I like to look at things.
So as you cast Detect Magic, a few things. I mean, all of your friends give off a faint aura. Everything but Jametti gives off a magical aura. You also sense the columns themselves have a fairly powerful, deep magical aura to them. That's the most you can see at the moment.
All right. Nothing Jametti is wearing at all is giving off a.
Nothing.
Okay.
Ford, as you begin to kind of walk along the what would be considered the southern walls around the side of the chamber, you and Avantika kind of looking across, you can see the walls appear to be made of the same eldest stone that this temple is made from. The newer materials that have been kind of plastered and set against what once was this original temple did not make its way this far into the basement. It seems that there is no intent to cover, or at least hasn't gotten to the point of covering what originally lined the walls of this chamber, and as such, the original carvings remain. And what you see are 3 massive carved murals on that wall, and this far side, mirroring the placement of the 3 pillars. These murals stand probably 15 feet tall and about 20 or so feet wide. And you can see them depicting these giant, faintly detailed and gently colored scenes, though a lot of the coloration seems to have faded with just dust and time. But you can see some of the stone has been stained or painted to show some variation in color, so you can make out the simple shapes to kind of fill out this much larger tapestry on the stone before you. The one on that far wall, as you come across it, you see what looks to be a crowd of people. Simple design, but definitive. Heads and shoulders and legs, you can see the humanoid form, and there are many, many clustered around the base of this mural. Above them, you can see what looks to be 3 larger humanoid figures that are haloed by some sort of what looks like a light or an aura that kind of elevates them beyond this crowd. 3 figures. And then over the top of that, taking up probably 60% or more of this mural, you see what looks to be a humongous bird of dark purple flame that is wreathing the sky above this crowd. You see its wings curved upward and then bent down, and you see where the wings end, fire just curls and burns, and the feathers and the edges of these wings definitively come up into a purple and dark gray flame with bits and specks of deep red. At the top, you can see where its head looks down, the beak long and pointed. There are 3 eyes across its face, and in each of these eyes you see set a rather large onyx stone.
It's a bird?
A large flaming bird.
Like a phoenix?
Like a phoenix, but dark purples and grays and deep reds in color.
3 eyes. 3 individual.
3 eyes. Each one is an onyx stone.
Each one of those eyes is an onyx stone, probably about that big.
Mr. Ford, I feel like I should mention I'm keeping a lookout for anything and getting a bit of a magical aura from the 3 columns. I don't know if it's related to that.
Are you reading anything off of all of the eyes that I'm seeing, those stones?
You don't see any magical essence on the carving or the stones, just from those pillars. And glancing at the pillars too, you can see there's faint kind of carved designs and shapes, just like almost like a swirling, almost serpentine circles and curves that kind of chain into each other and swirl off. It looks almost like, imagine a column made of chains, if you will. But the patterns are erratic in places and don't seem to follow.
Oh, and the 3 columns are very similar. There's nothing unique about the pattern within them. Doesn't deviate too much.
From what you can tell, no.
All right.
So that's the far wall. If you continue curving around to the one closest to me, you meet up with Avantika at that point. She holds her lantern up, and you can see a very similar layout. You see a very familiar showing of a crowd, much like the previous one, though some of their shapes have different shoulders. It looks almost like their clothing or whatever their accoutrements are different. So it seems to insinuate a different people. And above them, 3 more figures stand, shown larger and emanating some sort of radiance or aura. And above that, you see what looks to be this Gesundheit, this giant coiled serpent of scale, fin, and eyes made of amber. Each of these eyes is a separate amber piece, about that big around, or the size of a large gold piece, all along the coil of its body. And you see at the very top where it's rearing up, this very kind of long, thin, pointed, almost lizard-like maw opens up, and behind it, this giant tidal wave is curling and frozen in place, looking like it's about to bear down on and either destroy or sweep away the crowd below it.
Question, does the eyes in this picture bear any resemblance to the tattoos I spied through the window when I eavesdropped through Frumpkin on Ford and Avantika's conversation?
Very much so.
Very much so, okay.
2 eyes on this one?
On this one, the head of it has 3 eyes as
3
well.
eyes also.
But the body itself has eyes evenly spaced around the entire length of its coiled body.
And amber for the 3 eyes on the head, or every single time?
Every single eye on it is a piece of amber, matching size.
The eyes, are they? They're there, right? It's part of the mural. They're not missing or recessed or anything.
They all appear to be present.
And you described the first group look just humanoid, no strange features, just arms, legs, head. But for the second one with the serpent, they're a little weird.
More details have been put into them. More care has been placed into their carving.
Okay.
Onyx eyes for the first creature.
Amber eyes for the second. And what about the third? I'll go over and look at the far mural.
Okay. Avantika continues curving around, kind of look with a big kind of wide-eyed smile on her face. As she passes by you, she goes, "This is incredible."
Yes, it's very stimulating. Have you ever seen imagery like this before?
I can only assume that this is carved by the king now.
The Kinau.
The quinoa?
Nope, the Kinau. They're the followers of Uk'otoa, right?
Look at these characters.
The key now?
Kinau.
She continues curving around. Bo and Caduceus, as you walk to the other wall, that side of the chamber, there you see what looks to be a curling, thick worm of some kind. Its folded skin and tooth-like scales burrowing up to produce mountains over the crowd, cliff faces made of stone and rock that appear to be breaking and about to plummet into the crowd below. There, beneath it, you see 3 figures, once more elevated. The same kind of wreath around them of some sort of radiance or light. The people below don't seem scared. There's no sign of fleeing or fear, just a gathering. But you see within this large, terrifying worm-like creature, its form bulbous with these strange protrusions, these spine-like scales that you can imagine would pull it through the broken earth. You see this ring of teeth that accentuates where its mouth is. And on the inside, you can see what looks to be where a tongue would be. There instead are 3 eyes across the inside of its mouth. These appear to be made of some kind of ivory, some polished white material.
Also, the 3 figures on each wall, are they standard humanoid form?
The 3 figures all appear to be humanoid. They're not detailed enough to the point where you can see features to differentiate between, elven, human, halfling.
Do they seem to be the same 3 on each, or is it just sort of silhouettes of?
It's just silhouettes of 3 people.
3 figures.
3 figures. Fuck. You hear Avantika's voice echo from across the way as she goes, "These are the chosen." She brings light over towards the one of Uk'otoa on the wall and goes, "I guess that makes this one me?" And she takes her finger and kind of takes a little blood from the corner of her mouth in the fight and draws a little smiley face on one of the 3. "And this one is you?" And goes and draws another face on the middle one.
I can see the resemblance. The question is, if that's you and that's me, who's our 3rd friend?
It's a very good question.
You said you had met only one other chosen before.
Only one, yes.
And what happened to them?
They were a very informative partner. They are the one that introduced me to the great possibility of power under Uk'otoa. We traveled this ocean for quite a number of years together, but they proved to be a coward. They took something important to our mission and vanished. And I've spent many years trying to recover what they stole. And with no luck, I figured it was more worth my time to just pillage enough coin to pay other people to find them for me. And so far, based on the fact they brought you to me, much more successful endeavor. Huh?
Indeed. This person that seemed to have shown you the light, did you try to track them down? Do you know anything about them or where they might be? They would seem to be very useful in our current situation.
This is very true. Well, it seems I may have some information. Let's get back to the ship. Let's finish our business here and let's talk over a glass of wine.
Well, we're obviously not in a huge rush. We have not explored all of this.
This is true. And she begins to make her way towards the well at the center of the chamber.
I was heading that way myself.
Is there any writing of any kind?
Glancing about at the pillars, you too can see within the shapes glowing runes that trace from ceiling to floor, then across the ground and all meet at the well.
And am I able to read it with the comprehend languages that should still be cooking because it's an hour-long spell?
It's not technically a language.
Okay.
These are runes. These are glyphs of some kind. Make an Arcana check.
Yeah. Come on, dice. Good to me. No. That is 17.
17. There are different epochs in historical time in which there have been advances and developments of arcane runes and sigils. There is the early basis of magical runes, which is a deviation of Draconic as a language, and then there are ways that they've been altered and made more efficient. These are very old, base, early Draconic runes. As such, they hold a lot more very, very primal magical power, and usually reserved for larger rituals and magics that are meant to last for very long periods of time. The nature of the magic on these runes, from what you can tell, it's a little hard to get the direct essence, but there is some sort of an abjuration-based magic.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go investigate the not the Hydra, the
water pool.
the other the
Go
creature
in.
that I killed.
All right, you head on over to the other Yontine. As you approach, you can see the body lies there, tongue kind of lolling out, and drool and blood, a mixture of thick saliva mingling with the dark kind of black purple blood at the corner of its mouth, its eyes wide open and kind of rolled back. Its dark, thick green scales of its snake-like head and thick muscular scale torso all lie limp across the stone where it was slain. You can see its blade is clattered to the ground a few feet from its grasp, and its like polished marble and silver shield kind of scattered a few feet from its form. The rest of its tail just coils and is limp off to the side from there.
I'll just kind of rifle around looking for any sort of keys or
Make an investigation check.
objects. 25.
Nice. You find on its body 26 pieces of gold. Only gold. No other pieces of coin on its body. The blade is a very, very large blade. It looks like it's well made. It's both for ceremonial purposes and for actual combat. It is both beautiful and very well made. And the shield itself is also exquisitely crafted and shows no signs of wear.
I'll take the shield and just kind of hang on to it until I can give it to someone who wants it.
Okay. At this point, Avantika has walked to the edge of the well and kind of looks down into the space below.
I walk up behind her and I just go, ha!
Do you really?
Yeah.
Pushing her?
Yeah, I don't actually push her in, but I just
Okay.
want to freak her out.
Yeah. She's gonna do that.
She whips around as you do that, and both her hand grabs your wrist to deflect it, and you wrench your wrist free just as a natural instinct, and you both have this like moment of like,
You know, I do have a solution, I think, for this. Jametti, you worthless sack of shit. You haven't done a damn thing since we got in this temple. You like to scout ahead, go forward, get your ass down that well.
He's still up at the top of the stairs. He goes, well, for one thing, I was paid to go to the temple and no further. The fact that I have even come this far is because I need to claim my pay.
Why do you want a cookie? Get down the fucking well. Let's go.
Anyway.
Avantika goes, actually, I think ladies first.
Well, I would insist to join you if that is the case.
May the best one win, huh? And she dives in.
Fuck, shit, balls.
Can I talk to you for a second before you go down there?
Real quick.
The pillars are covered. You know, so when I do the shield, I cover myself and protect these. The columns have that in them.
Pillars are magic?
Yeah, but it's protection. It's holding something in or holding something back. And we know what that thing is with the yellow eyes, but what is the tapeworm?
I don't know.
And go, fine, go.
I don't want her to get too far ahead. Okay, cool.
Okay, you jump in,
When is this
and
going to wear
first
off?
off, Caleb's distraction has given her quite a lead. She's a fairly accomplished swimmer and is making her way down. This well continues on for a good 70, 80 or so feet below. The water is cold, but
It's the same as you're walking.
it is salt water.
Oh,
Saltwater.
Yes,
it is salt water. Not brackish, but salt water.
right.
Okay.
So anyway, you are swimming after her. Make an athletics check. You have advantage because the water is, because of your armor, it's not giving you as much resistance heading south.
Athletics or?
Athletics.
So 19.
19. Okay, you begin to close the gap slowly, but she's eagerly swimming down with almost a fervor. As you get deeper and deeper into this column, this basin below, you can see the walls of it begin to grow thick with algae and grime, like a thick. It could be some sort of a plant matter that's just accrued over the walls, or it could be waste matter from the Hydra within its home that is slowly just congealed to cover the walls. But the stone begins to give way to this kind of dark, slick material. And once you hit about the 70, 80 foot point, the tunnel begins to open almost like a giant bulb or an internal spherical chamber. Roll another athletics check.
14.
14. You guys, she's still keeping a distance from you. Heading deeper and deeper in, the saltiness of the water, the brininess, the flavor in your mouth gets more and more intense. What was once kind of a semblance of seawater is definitively seawater, but like also very, very strongly briny seawater. Make another athletics check.
Is there the bulb? We've entered that chamber, right?
Correct.
What's our visibility like? 40, 60?
For you, because you have dark vision, so you can see within like 30 feet of you, essentially. So as far as you look, the chamber is...
There's not a lot of natural light, right?
No.
Yeah.
Not at all.
Okay.
It's pitch black down here.
Making sure.
And that being the case, you can also... You don't see the bottom of the chamber. You just see it kind of open.
And just her going into
and just
nothing.
her, but she's gaining...
Just James Cameron going down to find the Titanic.
Yep, just delving straight down into the darkness.
Cool.
Make another athletics check.
Ooh, 20.
20, okay. She did not roll that well that time. She's beginning to tire, it seems, or at least you're starting to pick up speed. As you continue to follow and follow, you get probably about 40 or so feet from her, but she's still ahead of you. Roll again.
Down here, no, okay. Natural 20.
Natural 20, nice. She rolled okay. You see now the bottom begin to approach. Just within the peripheral of your dark vision, you can see where the floor greets to meet you, and you pick up enough speed to where you both impact the bottom of this chamber at the same time. You both hit. She looks up at you and her eyes meet, and you see a few bubbles kind of escape from her mouth, and you see her just big, wide, toothy grin, and she begins scraping grime off the floor.
I do the same.
All right, make an investigation check.
I don't know what I'm looking for. 23.
23?
Yeah, boy.
5.
Take that shit.
Well, as the two of you are currently scraping bits of grime and algae off the ground, you can see now there are bits of plants that are kind of growing up like lightless kelp that seems to have made some sort of a living down here in the subterranean water-filled chamber. And as you're pushing through and scraping around, your hand scoops this large bit of grime from in front of you, and you can see what looks to be a stone relief at the very, very base of the bottom, a concave, spherical shape about the size of a fist. She notices it, looks at it, and looks at you. What are you doing?
Can I try and like stick my hand in my chest?
You can.
Does it go anywhere?
You go and jam your hand, and it's hitting your armor. It's
Yeah.
You have a full-on leather plate right there.
I don't know what to do. Like the size of a fist?
Yeah, or like
But it's like a sphere, right?
It's about that big, and you can see it is concave. It's about the size of the stone that you had found.
Yeah, that's in my body.
Poop it out.
I don't know how. I don't have an eject button. Can I summon the falchion?
You can. The falchion appears in your hand, and as you do, this bright yellow light is now emanating from the center of its hilt, where the eye itself is glowing with its own lantern-like source. At which point, Avantika is now rushing towards that
things
thing.
are about to happen, and I just jam the eye. into
Make an
the-
initiative roll, because you gave her enough time to get up right next to you, and now we're going to see who gets to it first.
Oh, 6.
6. Her hand, she's now pulled the glove from her right hand, and as you go to thrust the hilt of the falchion down towards it, you see her hand reach out and just manage to cover the little space first. As it does, you can see her body kind of like tense for a second, and where her hand is, suddenly this bright, familiar yellow glow seems to now spread from between her fingers, sending beams off in multiple directions. You see her face looks like aghast and shock for a second, and a large bubble kind of escapes from her mouth. She looks over to you with this kind of dazed look and pulls her hand back, and there you can see in the palm, there's this large open wound where like blood's beginning to just kind of like cloud the dark water below, and there in the center of this hole you can see one of the cloven stones there. At which point you see a bunch of these runes begin to glow in 3 different directions from around the base, up the sides, up the chamber. The rest of you, kind of looking around, suddenly see this kind of dull blue glow begin to get brighter and brighter from within this well, and you watch as these runes that you guys didn't notice, except for the 2 of you before, begin to suddenly begin to glow up the sides. The 3 pillars suddenly begin to spiral and glow as all these runes come to life. And you see as Avantika pulls back and looks at her hand, she looks back at you, her eyes kind of blink for a second, and she just smiles, and you hear this earth-shuddering, soulful crack sound just rocks the entirety of the temple. You watch as bubbles suddenly, like this one burst of air that had been trapped in the grime below is all immediately released as one, kind of rise up to the water above, and you can look around and you can see the interior of this. There is a heavy black crack in the stone of this chamber. As you guys all hear this earth-shattering BAM! Dust kind of falls off the ceiling of this chamber from the inside. You look and you watch as the pillars themselves still stand, but there are multiple places in this chamber now where these large black cracks now seem to have snaked their way in one instant burst across parts of the wall.
Picking the lock on this safe.
The glowing runes blink out.
I think the lock's picked.
Maybe they might need 3. There's 2 of 3, and I'm eyeing Jamedi as I say that. Presumably just 2 of 3. But as long as it's just 1, maybe Ford is thinking better of it.
I immediately start searching on the ground for another opening.
Make an investigation check.
You know, maybe it's not all here. Maybe it's in another location. Maybe there are 2 other temples.
12.
12. You start pulling through the weeds and the kelp and the grime, and nothing. It's all smooth stone except for this one little alcove that you found first. Avantika is now swimming frantically up towards the surface.
Frantically?
Like, just trying to kick. She lost quite a bit of air.
I'll go grab her.
You go grab her? Mm-hmm. Okay. Make a grapple check. Make an athletics check.
Stone cold.
Oh, 7.
7. No, she kicks right out of your grasp. She looks back with an expression of surprise.
Pointing at the ground.
Make a deception check.
Underwater deception.
Travis, you have your fate too.
Natural 20.
Okay, she looks confused and continues swimming upward, not reading too much into it.
Okay.
But yeah, she continues to clamber up to the surface. The rest of you, as you're looking about, you can see now the surface of the water. It begins to spill over the side of the well.
I'm going to start heading towards the stairs. I'm going to recommend everybody else, let's go.
That sounds good. Yes. Yes.
She goes, yeah, okay, of course. And Jessica's like, oh, this is not very good. Where's Ford? She's looking over very nervously towards the pool, which now the chamber's rapidly filling. You're already at knee height.
He likes water. He'll be fine. Come on, let's go. Let's get out of here.
Jester at the edge of the pool looking down.
Okay, you guys glancing down. Jamedi is back in the chamber, like his eyes wide. Goes, we should go. We should go. Bring her back. She owes me money.
I'm grabbing Knock by the scruff and dragging her up the stairs.
You don't have to drag me. I'm going.
Okay.
Okay. As you guys all begin to climb up the stairs, the chamber's filling very quickly. with the water. It's now reaching the base of the stairs, at which point, as you guys, Bo, you and Jester, there's just enough water now where your buoyancy carries you off your feet, and you're now actually treading water in the chamber.
Shit.
At which point, Avantika makes it to the surface with a large gasp of air, but a few moments later, Ford also breaks the surface.
Come on, Ford, let's get out of here.
What's happening?
Water. It's bad water.
Yeah.
All water's bad, but this is even worse.
What the hell happened?
Continuing to fill. The stairway that leads leading upward, the water has now reached the base of the doorway, and have a few moments, maybe like 6 seconds or so before the doorway itself is completely
We gotta
filled.
go.
All right, let's go.
Okay, you're all going into a full swim here, like double move, half speed for all of you guys, so it's going to take you a little bit, except for you. All right, you guys are already up there. All right, so as you all get to this stairway and begin to make your way up to the top, the water continues to pour up, falling behind you. You get to the stairs and you having to trudge through. You get up to the secondary floor, and there you stand with the walls that were partially relieved and covered, and there is the stone slab that is lifted up, and there's orchard before you. What do you do?
Oh, the orchard. That's right.
There were stairs up
Spiral
the sides,
stairways.
right?
Yeah, there is the fountain, but it rose back up to the top when this chamber door was opened.
Oh, so there's no stairs.
Currently, no. It's raised up and closed off the front when you open the doorway to get deeper into the basement.
We see to the
Is there
ceiling
any
of this
other-
chamber.
Make a perception check. With you, disadvantage because you are human.
Highs out. Not to make a perception. You said?
Yes.
15.
15.
Yeah.
Glance. I mean, you can see the pillar that holds the fountain at the top, and there are the stairs still part of it, and you can see where it's up there. But whatever mechanism rocks it.
There, yeah.
Let's climb. Is everybody outside? Is everybody outside? Is everybody in the chamber now?
Glass. Damn
The
it.
central chamber is now. The water has now reached the base of the orchard.
I'm
and is
gonna
now
hit
filling.
the. I'm gonna hit the button to reclose to close.
You don't know the button. You never found it.
Who did?
I don't know who did.
It was not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you mind hitting the button to close this thing again?
Oh, yes, sure. It was one of these holes. I'm gonna just pick one. I go to the north one.
Okay, you go to the.
God, which one was
I
it?
don't know. I don't remember. I'm just gonna go into one. Aren't these these little holes, right?
There are, as you can see now, the water that has begun to fill up the chamber. It's a little slower in here because it's a much wider space now, but you can see eggs starting to float out from the other chambers. The other two rooms were the two hatchery areas where you saw the larger eggs were set.
Right.
Do I remember
on.
which one was the
I do.
Make an intelligence check.
9? Oh, +6? No, this is not a saving throw.
No, it's just straight bonus.
+3, so 12.
12. You recall it was in the chamber where you're standing, and it's not too far from the stairs where you guys descended below.
Okay. Do I see a little door, a little hole near where I'm standing?
You look over to the side, make a quick investigation check.
Natural 20.
You reach over and you find it, and you hit it.
Come on.
The door slams shut and locks you in the room.
Locks
Oh, fuck!
But you hear a grinding on the other side of the chamber of the fountain lowering.
Oh, shit.
fountain lowering.
Right.
Found lower, but not
I'm
strapped
inside.
in.
Not and everybody else who hasn't left that chamber is inside. The only people that said they were leaving that room, I believe, were.
Yeah, I was going in chaos. I was.
Yeah.
Oh God.
So all of you are now locked in that chamber with Not.
Oh wait, can you open it?
Wait, we're
Again?
in the chamber. We're all.
You're all in the
inside
chamber with Not, yeah.
But
happens
that
if it
chamber
opens?
goes downstairs, right?
I
Correct.
will open it up again.
The fountain, the chamber opens up again.
Okay.
Mage hand. Come on out. Come on out, mage hand.
Everybody out, everybody out. I'll cast Mage Hand.
Okay. You move around, you cast Mage Hand. The door slams shut, the two other doors slam shut. The chamber now is about waist high in water. And you watch as the pillar begins to slowly lower. And it is a slow drag down.
Okay, let's go. Come on.
Yeah.
We're gonna climb.
Come on.
Climb up.
Yeah.
Okay. The stairway itself, if you recall, ends a little bit ways up, and there's a bit of a drop down to get to it. I mean, it slowly comes down and does meet the floor. There's a bit of a lip to get up there now. So if you ascend to the top of the staircase, there is about a 10-foot or so jump where it is smooth walls before you can actually get to the top floor.
Yeah.
Cool.
We'll get up there and drop a rope.
Yeah, I can do that.
Let's try that.
Make the
Let's go.
jump. Do you want to jump off of Yasha or anything?
Sure.
Yeah, she'll
Give
do
me a
the-
boost. The cheerleader.
Yasha goes over and gives you a boost. That's going to be okay. that gives you advantage on your acrobatics check to try and like parkour up the stairs and leap off the sides.
I'm going to cast Dancing
Jesus
Light and send 4 globules up around the roof so that everyone can see everything perfectly.
Okay.
12 on my acrobatics.
Gotcha. You leap, slide off the side, and manage to fall down into the water next to it. You come out of the surface. You guys, the chamber is now halfway full, and it's almost starting to reach to the top.
It's really slippy.
I'm gonna try and. Oh God.
Give me a boost.
Yeah, you're tall.
All right. I'm actually weak. Somebody stronger should probably give me
I'm
a
gonna
boost.
scurry up. I'm gonna scurry up, Mr. Clay.
Enlarge on Caduceus so he's twice his size.
Oh.
Mighty Caduceus.
I'm tall now.
Yes.
I'm very tall. I might be taller than the whole.
You're tall enough to the point where I'd say, because it's double the size,
Double
right?
the size, yeah.
So you're 14 feet. You're not tall enough for the whole chamber, but you're tall enough to push people through.
I'm pushing people through.
All right, so alley-ooping one after the other. You go ahead and grab each person and kind of lift them up like a little booster into the chamber, one by one. You guys all get up into the top now. And Caduceus, you're too big to get up.
Yeah, Caduceus, hold Ford's hand. Ford, hold his hand. You got it?
Yep.
I cast Reduce, and now he is half his size.
All right.
So,
All right, so you pull Caduceus up. You guys are now in the chamber. Standing there, there's the stairs that lead up, at which point you hear
so high.
footfalls. And you see coming around the corner down, it seems that the sound of the resounding crack in this temple has drawn the attention of 3 on T. They turn the corner. You see one of them, 2 snake arms, a familiar sight as one of the Malisons comes down. And 2 Broodguard are there. What are you doing? The water is now spilling up past out of the hole, and now the top room is now starting to fill with water.
Are we in the top level now? Or
You
we,
are.
I'm tapped spell-wise.
I'm gonna just go and start shooting at the first one.
Go for it.
That's not great. It's a 14. 14 to hit.
Okay, at this point, the water seems to have accelerated and has now filled the chamber. As you fire...
16 to hit.
All right.
16.
I am casting Spirit Guardians and rushing them.
Okay. You're now, well, underwater. You've take your last breath, and you've all completely been submerged in this chamber. The other Yanti you can see in the darkness below here. The only bit of light you have are the globes still from you. Although, are those concentration?
Yeah. I've got a light on my stick anyway.
They're
so I
gone then
would've-
because
Yes.
Enlarge Reduce, yeah.
I would have cast a light on my stick then, so.
Okay, so you're casting light on your
Yeah.
stick.
Anybody I don't like within 15 feet is currently getting ransacked by tiny fairies.
Okay, what's that? I love it. What's your save? What's the save on that?
It's
Wisdom, I believe.
Wisdom 16.
Okay, the Malison succeeds. The 2 Broodguard fail. So go ahead and roll damage on that.
Sorry, I'm freaking out a little bit. 3d8 radiant damage.
That is correct.
That's 11. 1 or 7? I can't tell. 12 points of radiant damage.
12 points of radiant damage. Nice.
None of that was like a melee attack or anything. No, because your damage is reduced since you're teeny.
It doesn't. It's just they're fairies.
All right.
And I'm heading straight towards the
towards the exit, towards the exit.
All right. What was the roll you hit to hit?
16 to hit?
16. That will hit the Malison. You do not get sneak attack, however.
That's fine. It causes 9 hit points of damage.
Nice. All right. That finishes your go there.
I would probably bonus action. If I had a bonus action, I would shoot again.
I'd allow. So you're like, because you're standing on the water, so as you're like leaning over the surface, you're like, squeezing it out.
It's 16 to hit again.
Nice.
And another 11 points of damage.
11 points of damage. Good. All right. So I now need everyone to roll initiative.
Jeez. If I'm on top of the water, how much space do I have?
Well, now you don't need more. The water surface begins to crush up beneath you, and then you have to kind of like delve underneath as it meets it. It's filled up, and it's now making its way up the stairs towards the top of the temple. 25 to 20, anyone?
20.
All right.
Roll for Chester. Terrible.
And roll for Yasha.
I did.
All right, so 20 to 15.
Nobody.
All right, 15 to 10.
Yasha got 13. Wow.
Guys. All right, 10 to 5.
7 and 7, both 7.
Oh, 7
Not
over here
9
as well.
over here.
Not to do this.
It's
Caleb.
not, and then Cad,
I rolled a natural 1.
Caleb, and Jester,
Chester had a 7.
Chester.
and then forward at the bottom.
And I'm sorry, Dante, could you please describe the where everyone is physically, the enemies and us, just so I can see it in my
Awesome.
head better?
That was my Dante.
Yeah.
The hourglass is gone.
Yeah.
They freaked me out.
That's okay. It just means that you guys are now in the process of slowly drowning.
Yeah.
Mercer, don't say that!
How do you do that? D&D
What's it gonna
Beyond.
be?
And Tor books, everybody. Tor books, Tor books, Tor books.
Starbucks.
Nope.
Starbucks.
Tor books, Tor books, Tor books.
Good times.
Great.
Good times.
Oh shit, we're back here again.
Yep.
Except now it's all
Drowning.
filled with water.
It
Ooh.
How did you do
Everyone hates the
Aren't they also
underwater
drowning or
levels.
no?
What's up?
They're also drowning too, right?
I mean, it says they're not like officially in, this, but there is. Now that we are in combat, there is the nature.
Didn't we have like some water breathing potions somewhere?
Tony Caduceus just made his way up there. There's Bo. And there's Jametti. Alrighty. So,
Someone might have a water ratings. But
top of the initiative order. Bo, you're up first. While you're in water, it is movement is considered difficult terrain, and if I recall, the attacks are made at disadvantage while in water.
Okay.
It's over our heads at this point.
Yeah, we're definitely underwater. And do we see the entrance or the exit ahead of us?
Those are the stairs that lead upward. Yes,
So if we just kind of book it, we'll go.
you can. That's an option.
We're just gonna have these guys
That is entirely an
on
option you
our,
can do.
on our butts. Well, I'm a human with no magical abilities, so I'm gonna run.
Also, the trapdoor.
Yeah.
I can't do a lot.
You have throwing stars.
they don't. Not
We
swimming
have
stars.
the key to the trapdoor.
Yeah, Son of Sparta. The trapdoor into this place was like a metal grate, wasn't it? Not fully. Like there were holes because it was a metal grate, or was it solid?
There were holes above,
Not gonna help us.
but they were on the ceiling and they were part of the stonework. Up top, there was an actual door, a trap door that had kept you, that you would lock behind you.
Right, but not like metal with holes for the water to go through.
No.
No.
Wouldn't help us.
That you know of. There are holes above, which is where that would seem to be where the sacrificial
Blood would
blood would drip through into the fountain. So, what you doing, guys? You running first? All right, so you're swimming.
I'm darting, swimming up.
3.
I'm gonna spend a key point to do Step of the Wind.
All right, Bo is out.
I've got to be.
You made it up top.
Is she hitting the door or the trap door, or is she?
No, she's not out of the temple. She's up. She's heading up the stairs. She's
Up the
out of
stairs.
She's out of the battle at the moment.
Got it.
All right, so that finishes Bo's turn. It is now their turn. They both roll really high in initiative, and you guys roll really terribly.
Yes, we suck.
All right. So the
Thanks, Dad.
Malison's closest is going to go ahead and
Is he,
go after
is he
4.
getting within 15 feet of me?
He is.
Okay, then as he enters that space, he has to.
Well, he was still within 50 feet of you, so the top of his turn, he takes the save.
It's when your speed is halved while within 15 feet of me, and the creature enters the area for the first time, or on the starts its turn there.
All right. Natural 20 net save, so it takes half damage. Still takes damage, but it's half.
So the 3d8. That's
He's very lucky.
It's a good spell.
yeah.
Clerics, man. Clerics.
19, so half of 19.
All right, so 9. Just burst of bringing energy in the inside. Some bubbles escape from its mouth, and it just kind of comes forward, and it's going to take 2 swipes at you forward with both of its serpent hands.
Got it.
All right, so that's 2 bite attacks. That is going to be a 16 to hit.
Misses.
No, natural 20, but it has disadvantage because it's in the water. That is still a 19 to hit.
That hits.
Alrighty, so this you do manage to take from one of the serpents. You manage to just glide out of the way in the middle of the water. The second one, that is 4 plus 3 piercing damage. You take 7 points of piercing damage,
Got it.
including 10 points of poison damage.
Fuck. 10 poison?
Yep.
Not diluted by the water? No.
Unfortunately, no, because it's straight from the fangs in your bloodstream. It surges pain into your chest. And you also lose a bit of air instinctively from the pain. So consider now your air supply is halved.
Okay, so is that half my constitution modifier?
Essentially, the DC is going higher when we start getting to that, depending on how long we're down here.
Fuck.
All right, so that ends his go. Now it's the two brood guards. Swim forward.
Brute guards?
Brood guards.
Okay, so he gets into my realm. One of them is getting into my.
They're both already in the radius, so they
Yeah.
both have to make
Both have to
saves.
make.
Yes.
And I don't have to re-roll. It's the same roll for all three, right?
The top of the turn. It's different turns. So roll again.
No, I mean the roll I just used or a new roll.
Yep. No, it's at the top of the turn it happens.
Oh,
so.
All right. That's
That's right. Spear Guardians happens at the top of the turn. It doesn't happen immediately.
yeah, top of the turn, top of their turn.
Top of their turn. Right. Okay. So the damage they would have taken this turn, they've already taken.
Oh,
so
okay.
we'll just let that happen. Right. Okay. Marking that. Good to remember.
Yeah.
All right. So they both move forward. One Brood Guard is going to go ahead and attack you, not. It's going to two claw attacks and a bite attack. Disadvantage on each, though. The first one is going to be 15.
Miss.
One claw attack just goes wide. The other one, 16.
Hit.
All right, one claw, you manage to duck out of the way. The other one slams into the side of your body, pushing you through the water and kind of down into the stonework, causing your hip to hit the side. That's going to do 4 points of slashing damage.
Okay.
And its giant kind of serpentine mouth of its kind of weird lizard-like body is going to attempt to strike out and bite you. Ooh, 2 10s. So it's going to be 14 to hit.
Miss.
You manage to push up and kind of jam your hand up into its jaw and keep it from biting you and pushing it away. The other one is going to be going up towards Yasha. Yasha, who is not raging. So the first one with disadvantage is going to be 15 to hit.
That hits.
15 hits. It's going to be claw attack. Ooh, 8 points of slashing damage.
Okay.
Next attack with claw with disadvantage, natural 1. That is a complete miss. Yasha kind of takes one claw and kind of just barely just affects it. The other one, she grabs its hand in the middle of the grasp and kind of pushes it back. She grabs her sword ready now, and as she goes to get her blade ready, it's going to go ahead and bite towards the front of her jaw and chest. That is going to be 17.
That hits.
All right. So she takes 6 points of piercing damage.
Okay.
That ends the Brood Guard's turn. Yasha's up next.
Yasha's up next. Cool. 14 points of damage.
Yasha's also lost quite a bit of air on that time. That was two hits that hit her.
Uh-huh.
So just mark 2 hits of oxygen loss on her.
Okay.
Keeping tabs on this.
But I'll do this.
This will come into play in a bit, depending on what happens.
Okay. And where is she on the map? I can't
She's
see.
right there.
Uh-huh. And she's in melee with
She's
somebody?
in melee with the Brood Guard, yes.
Okay. She has to fight, because if she leaves, she's going to get hit again, and that would be bad for her right now. With her bonus action, she would like to rage, and she will take 2 attacks at the one that she's in melee with.
Okay, she's in a rage. She has the reckless.
We are going to be reckless.
Okay, so that makes it just a straight attack, because she has disadvantage underwater.
Okay. Oh, balls and ass. Okay, here we go.
Balls and ass. Ass and balls.
19.
Definitely hits.
3, 6.
I don't like this at all.
Feel guilty for running. Okay.
13 points of damage
13 points of
on
damage.
the first one, and the second one is a straight roll of the same thing, 19.
Yeah, it hits. And that's just 2d6.
2d6.
Where is she? Oh, she's down there. And which one did I shot?
Again, 13 points of damage.
All right. That one's looking really bad. She just, like, after the blasts it took from the Spirit Guardians and the 2 strikes from Yasha, you can see there's now a cloud of dark crimson in the water around it. It's thrashing about in pain. You can see it kind of like looking a bit woozy under the dark water here.
Okay.
That finishes. Is she going to move at all?
She will not move at all.
She can move around it. As long as she stays in melee, she can still move around it.
We'll come in melee, just more closer to the stairs, please.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
That's what I figured. All right, that finishes Yasha's turn. Knott's up next.
Who had I shot before?
Which one?
You had shot this one.
Can I do something unconventional here, Matt?
Yes.
And undo my last shot? So give him back 11 points of damage because I am holding a keg of gunpowder, and there's no way I can reload a crossbow while holding a keg of gunpowder.
I mean, you can like drop it for the moment,
Okay.
fire it, and then pick it back up.
All right.
I'll let that happen.
Good job, ketchup.
All right.
because there is water and it's already soaked, you can be just like pick it back up.
all right.
I'll say narratively it makes sense.
Slowly started to sink and scooped it up again.
It happened
All right.
really fast.
Well then, to the one who's on me, all up in my grill, I'm going to touch them and cast Shocking Grasp,
Oh.
which is
It's a melee spell
it's a
attack?
melee spell attack. So I roll at disadvantage.
With
right?
disadvantage, yes.
9 plus 6, 15.
15 hits.
Okay,
Let's see what's
great.
14.
I don't know if I've done this before. Let's see here. I'm at 5th level already, so that's 2d8.
2d8
What's an
damage.
8?
It looks like a little.
There it is.
There you go.
Hey, 8 points of damage.
8 points of damage to it. As you reach out and grab it, you watch as its tongue kind of retracts into its head and its eyes go wide, loses some air, and it eventually kind of shakes and pushes off your hand. And
It's also a verbal spell.
A what?
Verbal. You have to speak.
Does that work?
You can do
you
it one
do.
time.
You can do it, but you lose a bunch of air to do it.
Oh boy. I hate water.
So
I'm gonna swim away as fast as I can, or do I still have to disengage, right? That didn't.
Yes, you do.
I will bonus action disengage
okay.
and swim around, past like around forward, so I don't get like around this way,
That's as far as you can get.
going
Moving
towards
half
the towards the exits
It's swimming over.
with one hand.
That finishes your go not. It is now Caduceus, Caleb, and Jester. You guys can decide amongst yourselves the order.
I'll go last.
I'll go first because I'm scared. I am going to use my air to cast Expeditious Retreat on myself. So I too am going to spit out some air as I do this in the water. And that doubles my speed, and which I can use a bonus action for dashing plus my movement. And I want to swim up 5 feet and then towards the stairs.
Okay. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30.
Then,
25, 30.
yeah.
So that puts you about there.
Okay.
And so that's your.
That's everything.
Yep, that's everything. So you're like right about there on the steps. Oh god.
I'm dead.
Put you there. Swimming.
Hi,
Swimming through the air. Okay.
Looks great.
That finishes Caleb's go. What's Jester doing?
Jester would like to probably.
She's gonna lose a little air, but yeah, where is she engaged with anybody?
She's
Not engaged, but she's right
engaged
next to
with this
someone.
brood guard right there.
Okay, then she will toll the dead.
She will cast Toll the Dead.
Yes.
Okay, so that's the saving throw for him. What's the save?
15 Wisdom.
All right, that is a 13. That is not so.
So that's
does damage.
2d8.
2d12, I think.
Oh yeah, 2d12.
He's already taken damage.
He's already taken damage.
All right, where are my 12s?
Oh, question, Matt, did you move me 2 groups of movement? Because it would be for the bonus action, and movement.
Okay, so
So it would be one more
10.
third.
the spell's a bonus action.
Yeah,
And it gives
when
you
you
free
cast it, you get that extra juice, and then a bonus action on every following round.
Right, so
So
technically
it
it
would
gives
be
you
a
3
bonus
movement. So
action
yeah,
with
you'd
the
be up
movement
there.
action. Thank you.
There you go. Thank you for the heads up on that.
10 points.
10 points. Oof. Yeah, he's not looking good.
And,
They're both looking pretty
she's
well.
going to try and get the most advantageous point towards the door as well.
All right, and she is currently both of you since you've cast spells. Go ahead and mark 5 points of lost air.
Okay, 5 points
Points
of
you
lost air.
I'm just gonna remember that.
You have 5 total?
5. For the purposes of this challenge to keep it interesting. 5 points before you're now starting to make. It's now considered how long you can hold your breath going forward. Like, like each hits a minute off of the I'll have to look at how I have it worked out here, but
Makes sense to me.
essentially, at this point now, Jester and Nod are going to have to start making Constitution saving throws each round.
Awesome.
All right.
I was not prepared for this.
All right, so that finishes Jester's go. She moves around over there behind the side. Caduceus, what are you doing?
I'm going to take a blight staff swing at that one that's right next to Yasha.
Blight staff
I'm not
swing.
gonna- right there.
Okay.
You are a tiny man.
Disadvantage in the.
Oh, actually, that's true. Actually, never mind. I'm not going to do that. I'm so sorry. That's right. I'm going to get them into the most advantageous position to make sure that everybody I want to hit is within 15 feet of me.
Okay. You will swim up on top of the fountain, essentially.
And I'm just going to hold my breath and maintain my calm.
Fountainhead.
There you go. Is that what you're doing?
4.5 feet tall.
Okay. And Caduceus is go. Ford, you're up.
Yeah, I'm gonna. Wait, can I fire one Eldritch Blast and make a melee attack at somebody, or is it?
No.
It's one of
either
each. Yeah.
2 Eldritch Blasts or 2 strikes.
Great. I'm gonna fire an Eldritch Blast at the dick that's with Yasha.
All right, go for it. Roll for an attack with disadvantage.
No, that's fine. 16.
16 hits. Roll damage on him.
God.
10d10, so 1d10.
4. 9 points of damage.
9 points of damage. Alrighty.
Is he still up?
Still up. Hurt, but still up.
I will send the other one that way as well.
Go for it.
I can't let Ash's character die.
Oh my god.
Awesome. 16.
16 hits again. Go and roll damage.
That's for 11 points of damage.
11 points of damage. That'll do it. Yeah. One. You hear the the dull impact of the Eldritch Blast, and then a second under the water, and that flash of light, that second sickly green glow flash in the water. You watch as one of the Broodguard kind of begins to float up limply to the ceiling. No longer alive. All right.
Amazing. I will use my. I am going to move away. Yeah, I'm going to use my 30 feet and take an attack of opportunity as I do.
That'll get you right about there on the stairs. There you go.
Yeah.
That'll do.
Sure.
That's swimming right there. It's perfect. All right, and it is going to swipe at you with disadvantage.
Okay.
That is going to be 9 plus 5. That's going to be 14.
No misses.
It does.
Oh,
It scrapes across your shield as you kind of swim away quickly. Really making it. All right, that finishes your turn, Ford. Bo, you're up.
Okay, what do I see? Where am I?
All right,
Quick look around.
You're going up the staircase. You can, but you're
water?
you're part way up. Yeah, it's.
But the water's
it's-
still filling?
Yeah, it's still filling, and it's still above you. Like you can maybe catch up to the top if you want to. If you use your full movement, you'll get to the top where the door is.
I'm gonna keep moving upwards, and while I'm doing that, I want to take out the 50-foot rope we have, and then I want to grab something heavy that I have, like I've got to have something stupid and heavy that I don't care about, and I want to tie it to the other end. A crowbar. I take a crowbar and I tie it, and I drop it down the well with the rope.
Okay, down the stairs, you mean?
Uh-huh.
All right, so you tie, take the crowbar and throw it behind, so it like rolls like partway down the stairs.
And I'm gonna kind of take the rope and kind of double grab it around me and just keep hauling ass up the stairs.
Okay, so with that, you'll make it all the way to the top, and you get to the small inner chamber, which is now halfway like stomach filled, and making it to the top. You look up and you can see there is, it's a little bit crouched down. There is the latch, and there is the lock mechanism beneath it.
Fuck! It's locked?
Yeah. It locked behind you when you guys entered the temple.
Who has the fucking key? One of us has the key. Who has the key?
Is there a key? Who's the key?
No, one of us had the key. We found the key. We found the key.
Has the key.
Somebody found a key. It was on one of the guys in the first encounter in this chamber.
Who found
Is
it?
it not?
Temple key. It says it right here on her equipment list.
But who has it?
Chester has it.
Jester has the key!
Well, it's their turn now. So the Malison's going to go ahead and make a saving throw. That is going to be a 14. What's the
I believe
DC?
that does. I believe that's full damage. Let's see. Spirit Guardians. 16.
16. So roll full damage on that.
All right.
3d8.
That's not D8. There we are. Not bad. 16 points.
16 points of damage.
There's no Reese's peanut butter
Ooh,
cups
he's
in
looking
this
really,
mug.
he's looking really bad.
Or other off-brand chocolate?
Are the
Suddenly-
other two not doing anything, by the way? Or?
Reese's
When it comes to their turn,
Okay.
one of them's dead
peanut
now.
butter.
No, I mean our other two friends. So
The other two, their turn's next.
Okay.
We'll get to that when he finishes his turn, and but one of them is dead. So
Yeah,
there's only one
that's
other guy.
That's fair.
So the Malison, another burst of angry pixies swirling around his body is looking really hurt. You can see now, like as he moves around, the trail of blood that kind of stays in the water behind the head as it shifts around. Both of the serpent arms look up towards Caduceus, the source of these angry spirits, and let's go ahead and make 2 strikes against them.
Yeah.
You're the one right there. That is going to be 13 to hit.
Nope.
And now we got the Cirque du Soleil
Come on,
performer.
Second strike.
Come on, if there was ever time.
That's a 12.
Nope.
Oh!
It's like 18, 6.
Yeah,
16,
God.
8. Bad rolls, I don't. So both serpent strikes from its arms reach out towards you, and Caduceus, you just kind of tiny enough right now. Although are you still holding the tiny spell on Caduceus?
I have not released it yet, no.
What does it do?
But is Expeditious Retreat concentration?
Oh, is it? It is, so it's dropped, so he's
Yeah, so
regular
your
size.
regular form.
Yeah.
And you just kind of bear down with the shield and deflect both.
Letting the fairies do the work.
You can see bits of kind of green and pinkish lichen kind of torn off and float in the water away from the strikes. That finishes its go. The other Broodguard has to make another save. That is a 7 plus. No, that does not make it. So full damage on the other Broodguard.
Are we getting the impression that they are just totally comfortable underwater?
No, actually.
Okay.
8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 15 points of damage.
Ooh.
10 points of damage. That'll do it.
Oh, he does?
So this guy also sparks and dies in the water.
Go, Jester, go!
So that's Caduceus' spell. That finishes their go.
Yep.
Yasha's up.
Yasha's up. Yasha
Book it,
will,
book it.
yeah, fucking hi-ho silver out that biatch. She's 40 feet, so 20.
Oh no,
Right there.
she's out, I thought.
Yeah, yeah.
going
Oh, just going out.
She's
All
out.
right. Got you. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. And then moving the rest of the way up, that'll get her halfway up the steps there.
Right.
And put her there.
Yeah. Get her out of there.
Okay. Finishing Yasha's turn. Not, you're up.
Oh boy.
I would appreciate it, but up to you.
Man. I really don't like this water.
No one does.
Oh boy. All right.
Shades
I
of the
will-
Kraken battle returning.
I
Yeah,
will.
Avantika and Jametti doing anything?
I will.
I forgot to put them on the initiative order.
Okay.
I will
That
doggy
was what I
paddle
would- yeah.
towards the snake hand man and hit him with another
For my expediency.
zap.
Jametti has essentially just swam around this whole thing and is just trying to.
Of course he has.
Asshole.
Doesn't even need the break. We'll say for the purposes of this, Avantika has at this point swept up and taken her turn that she should have taken before.
Oh,
I'm just going to go ahead and take 3 strikes against the mouse.
Oh, great. Oh, this might
That's
be
my own
the
fault
end
for
of it
doing
That's
it.
okay.
We'll see.
I saw him.
With disadvantage, that's cocked. That 9. That still hits. Is it armor class is only 12? All right, takes 10 points of damage. Second strike with the rapier, disadvantage. That does not hit. And
Come on.
the dagger strike.
Holy hand.
Nope, misses again.
Oh!
Swinging out, piercing through the water of the rapier, and the dagger manages to scrape across the side of its body, but most of the strikes go wide, and she's going to continue swimming around this way.
So you gonna take an attack of opportunity on her? Or?
No, she's still staying in combat. She's not like,
Oh, she hasn't
she's
left
moved
yet.
around him, but is staying engaged. But is currently looking to go ahead and make another opening and then dive off back towards the stairs. So not. Sorry, your turn now.
Okay, my turn. Do I need to first make a Constitution save?
At the end of your turn.
At the end of my turn. Okay. I'll swim up and poke the thing with my short sword.
All right. So you swim up a bit there. Go for it. Disadvantage on the attack.
Oh boy. Okay. What does this thing do? 15.
15 hits. 15 hits and engage with allies. You do get sneak attack damage.
Oh, I do?
Yeah.
You're engaged?
Because it's engaged.
Boy, is it
It's
engaged.
engaged with Caduceus and Avantika.
Oh, wow.
Whoa.
Pretty good roll.
Okay, so that's 21 points of damage.
How do you want to do it?
Because it can't see me, I'll just go up and just I don't use short sword a lot, so I'll like let it float for a second, and grab it from behind, and then just like rake it across the back of its neck.
As you do, you kind of pierce past all the humanoid muscles across the back of its neck and shoulders. Immediately, the air before or the water before you just fills with crimson, and you see it thrash for a minute. Its serpent arms trying to reach behind to strike at you. You just swim away as they kind of go limp, and it begins to slowly float up. We are booking. So that's that. You still have a little bit of movement left.
I'm gonna go towards the door as much as I
That
can.
is about as far as you can get.
And with dash, yeah, as far as I can
get
go.
up there. So you're with forward. Make a Constitution saving throw, please.
Not great. 12.
12. Okay. You are not drowning yet, but you're on the cusp.
That's my favorite condition, is not drowning yet.
All right, that ends your go. Not Caduceus, Caleb, and Jester. You're up.
Full speed.
Yeah, same for Jester. All the way to the dough.
She's going to cast Mending.
30. She's up with Ford, and then I need you to make a Constitution saving throw for Jester.
No.
7 plus 9.
16.
Yeah. Okay. She's gonna.
No. 7 plus 2 equals 9.
Shit.
Actually, Caduceus, I need you to make one too because you did cast the spell Spirit Guardians while underwater.
Oh yeah, that's fair. I did.
So she rolled in 9.
She rolled 9 total. Jester's drowning.
Jesus.
You see as
She
she's
unconscious?
swimming and she's like begins kicking in the water before
I
starting to go.
rolled an 8.
You rolled an 8. Caduceus as well. They both swim towards the staircase, and you see them both beginning to clutch at their throats.
Can I cast
There's the
a?
rope.
Drowning.
I got a crazy idea. Can
You
I?
used your full movement to get there.
All right. So next turn I can try something, or if I'm. Well, we'll
Next
see.
turn,
We'll see.
next turn you'll
Yeah.
be dead.
Yeah,
Next turn, you're going to be unconscious.
Okay.
All right. So ending your go, Caleb. What are you doing?
So I have 3 ways to move. First, I use the bonus action. Do I reach oxygen doing that?
You can you get up to the front there. Yeah.
Does that get me to air?
It gets you to the last bit of air as it's about to hit the surface.
Okay,
At the end of this combat round, basically after Ford, the chamber that Bo is in is now full. The water has filled the entirety of the temple.
So all the way to the tippy top.
Yes.
Oh, balls. Okay, so I'll use bonus action and movement to go as high as I can. Do I reach the trapdoor?
You do. Reach the door.
I will pull out the wire from my spell component and try to jimmy the lock. Oh god, I don't know what to do. I'm underwater, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I still have action, so I'm going to try to open the lock.
Okay. Make a lock picking attempt.
This will be no problem, right? Yeah.
Straight roll,
No
disadvantage?
disadvantage because you're underwater.
Hey. Oh, it's so good. A natural 20 and a 3. So that is that's a 4.
It's a 4. No, that's a failure. You're sticking there trying to get through it. No effect. Ford, you're up.
Okay. Seeing, looking around, still having plenty of air in my lungs, I turn around and see Jester starting to panic, and I know that she has the key. So I will reach out, grab her face, and bring her into a kiss. And I will blow all of my air into her lungs.
Are you upside down right now?
All right.
Shape of water.
Yeah.
She is no longer drowning,
Okay.
but you have to make a con save at the end of your turn.
Okay, fair enough.
So that's your action to do that.
That is
so you
so
breathe
hot.
some of your air into there. All right. You still have movement.
Okay.
He just selfishly wants the door
I'll
unlocked,
try.
but
I'll
it's
try and
so
swim up
sweet.
towards the top.
All
like,
right.
go in.
So you make it halfway up. Actually, no, because you have full move, don't you?
Full movement.
You get almost to the top. Not fully, but almost
Okay.
to the top. Constitution saving throw, please.
9.
And you, sir, are considered drowning.
I gotta ask too. I lost 5 of those hoo-has for casting the spell you said, so do I need to make a constitution check?
Yes, you do.
Okay, let's all die together, guys.
Oh God.
13.
15, you're fine.
15. Yeah.
All right. So that brings us to around the top there. Bo, the water fills the gap.
Take one last big deep breath. Gonna drop down and gonna use that. Nope, the rope is attached to me. Gonna drop down and see if I can go for Jester.
Okay. So you're gonna go ahead and pull Jester up. She's
Yeah.
conscious, so you're gonna get her closer.
Yeah, gonna take her and kind of yank her up with me.
Sure. So you go down. It takes you probably I'd say 2 movements to get down there, and you go ahead and pull her partway up. Are you using your key point for a step of the wind?
Sure. My last key point.
Last key point, do that. That'll get
Feel like
her
it's-
halfway up the stairs because I'm saying pulling her, the dragging motion is
Sure.
half movement, so that'll get you down to her. Yeah, you'll get her partway up the stairs, so about halfway up to where the top chamber is.
It helps.
If there
Whatever
was
I can
air
do, I
where
guess.
Bo was, wouldn't there be air where Caleb was?
No, you were below me, I think.
You would well no.
No.
No, I'm
You guys were together, yeah.
pasted almost, and I just blasted up to the top of the temple.
You did. Okay, no, I'd say there was enough air.
So then I would have.
Yeah, you
Then
got
failed
last
the
bit of
lock
air.
then.
Thank you. All right, so you're fine. All right, ends Bo's turn. That brings us to Yasha.
Oh, yeah.
Avantika has also swam up. and Jamedi is now gathering as well. Jamedi and Avantika both grab Caduceus's body, who was drowning, and begin pulling him up the stairs behind them.
That's good.
That's nice.
That's nice of
Yeah,
them.
Yasha will head towards the door and just wait for it to open. She's going to use her movement to go up.
Yasha gets up there to the top. Okay, so Yasha's now there, waiting there in the chamber. There's the gate below, getting ready, looking around, trying to get people to move upward. That finishes her go. Not.
I will grab Jester's horns and pull and go up as fast as I can.
Okay, so you use half your movement to catch up to Jester, where Bo is, and then you grab her with a little bit of movement. You move her an additional 5 feet before your movement's done. You can attempt to bonus action dash.
Bonus action dash, sure, yeah.
You get her another 15 feet. You get her just near the top of the staircase on the top floor.
Yes.
That ends your turn, Not. Now it is Jester's, Caleb, and Caduceus' turn. Caduceus, you are unconscious.
I am unconscious.
I need to make a death save.
Okay, I was.
At the top of your turn.
I know. I'm just.
Because I need to remember. I need to keep reminding myself that death saves are at the top of the turn. Not at the end.
I know. I was just like I was saving a spell that apparently I didn't know that I was going to lose the spell, so I'm a little just threw off my plans. As I had an emergency exit, and now I can't use it. That's all right. Fuck it.
You're a beautiful man.
14.
14 is a success in the save. All right. That finishes Caduceus' turn. Caleb and Jester.
Taking a breath of air, Caleb would have just rebounded back down and swam, so I'll use bonus action. If that gets me to them, good. If not, I'll use bonus action plus movement to get to them, which I would assume would get me there, and then I will help not. I will continue to drag Jester up towards the surface.
Between all of you guys, Jester and you all managed to make your way up to the top in Jester's turn. Jester fumbles through her sack, pulls out the key, and gets it, and so. This is how the ending of the first Poseidon movie should have happened.
Poseidon movie?
Because all of this water pressure that is built up at the top of this temple is suddenly released as the latch, and this geyser of water thrusts all of you rapidly out the top.
Money shot.
Oh, God!
You all get shot about a good 15, 20 feet up.
Oh, no.
And you have a look down at what you can see is the temple, which you can now see these like large cracks that have kind of set in the sides, where bits of water are kind of just pouring out through small cracks. But now this large geyser that's thrusting in the air, and you all begin to plummet and fall.
I cast Featherfall on myself, on Not, on Jester, on Beauregard, and on Ford.
Okay.
It's my last spell slot.
Take CAD. I'm
So I already
good.
did it. Doesn't matter. That's what I did. It's who I know, not what the hit points
on
exist.
everybody else.
God, that would have been the end of me.
Yeah, that would have been it.
That would have been number 2 done right there. Instant TKO.
I throw a wet feather.
Perfect.
Fuck, man.
As you all begin to drift down, the geyser slows, the pressure releases, but now water is just pouring out of the sides of the temple, and it's just completely flooding the city. You watch as Yuan-Ti that are rushing up the sides of the temple are washed down into the basin that is now the center of the city streets. You can see now that the city is being thrust out to the side. Some have moved to the top of buildings and are glancing up and seeing you guys as you begin to descend. Now you're about to hit the top of this, and there is now a perpetual flow of water coming out the top of this temple. What are you going to do?
We're about to hit the top of the temple, or just like all on the sides of it?
Kind of on the sides of it. You guys are slowly drifting down towards what's essentially a raging rapid water slide on all ends.
That ends with a mob of angry people who want to kill us, probably.
I can see that. Oh boy.
Jester, at the very least, is
that are
going
in the
to
process
cast Spare the Dying. Is going to grab me in the feather fall and cast Spare the Dying.
Okay.
Thank you.
I'm unconscious, I think.
I don't think you made it to unconsciousness because we burst before your turn.
No,
Okay,
you're
okay.
unconscious. You're.
I started
But
drowning.
I don't know
Yeah.
if you're making death saves. Is he stable?
No, so we haven't gotten to his turn yet. You've begun drowning, and then you guys got thrust out, so you managed to just catch breath because it didn't come back to your turn yet. That very next turn before Jester got to open, you would have been down.
Yeah.
So you just caught your breath. Very,
I did,
very
okay,
last. You did.
okay.
The very last minute. Basically, as the darkness began to take your vision, you were thrust out, and then and your eyes go wide again as you
Fall down a
see
temple well when you're
as you
unconscious.
see the sunlight above you as your air rushes back into your lungs, and then suddenly you begin to drift slowly down, looking below. You can see the city and the entire landscape of this strange village below you.
What the? How the fuck do we
So what
get
are you
out
guys
of
doing?
this?
They're on all sides, people down below, or down on one side of it?
They're on all sides. Like the entire city surrounds the temple. You guys only came up on one side, and the water is pouring
Let's
down
just
on
get
all
down
ends.
and out of here.
Yeah, I'm also. I don't think I don't think Spirit Guardians ever doesn't go down when I go unconscious.
Any spell that's concentration
It's not
is lost.
concentration. Oh, it is concentration, isn't it? Wait, where is it?
It says it right
Yeah,
there.
it is concentration.
Yeah,
Fuck.
so Spirit
God
Guardians
damn
is
it.
Let's just get back to the
Yeah.
ship.
Yeah,
Go
I gotta
paddling
run.
through the air towards the direction we came from.
As we're in the air, I'm going to take the
damn it.
shield that I stole off my back and kind of slide it under Caduceus's butt like a like a sled,
Yeah.
like a toboggan, and just kind of like put it there and hold it there, so when he lands, he'll just slide.
Okay, so as you all begin to like slowly drift and try and like pattern your way through the air, I'm going to say for the purposes of this, we'll make this a group skill check on this. Everyone go ahead and make a dexterity check to try and comb your way through the air enough, using your body to try and guide your
Dex check?
plummeting. Yes.
Well, you're out.
12.
Oh,
24.
Right.
It doesn't matter. You're
Two
out.
successes.
no, I'm not
Failure.
unconscious.
You're
Three?
stable.
Oh, I'm stable. That's right. I'm unconscious. Never mind.
You're fine.
Natural 20.
Yeah.
Success.
well, let me,
3
go
successes,
for
1 failure. Jester.
18 plus.
Success on Jester. Priyasha.
18.
Success. All right. So only its own failure. So as a group, that is a group success. So you all managed to just, yep, and both Jamedi and Avantika are fine. So you all managed to just barely, like, push your way in a certain direction. You're all going to drift down.
Like a skydiving team?
Yeah, kind of slowly making your way through until eventually the surface of the water, the rushing sound gets louder and louder as you all strike it. As you do, it carries you down in this rapid kind of Goonies-style water slide. You're all just coasting down the side of the stone. You know, elements of the stone just kind of barely scraping and clipping the back of your butt and your back, and you're like, oh god, it's not enough to damage you, but you're gonna be bruised as shit in the morning. But you're just coasting down. You can see as the city is coming towards you. The water is now kind of pouring through and snaking through the city. No pun intended. There are groups of Yuan-Ti that have clambered up onto the buildings and are currently trying to pull themselves out of the water and help others get up out of the middle of this strange flood that has taken over the center of their
water's
civilization.
still coming, right?
It's still pouring out of the temple, it
Oh
seems.
my god. The island is sinking.
Potentially.
Jesus.
Yes, potentially.
Okay.
If this is an island.
It's a turtle's back.
It's only a turtle!
It's the Cajun turtle.
Orly's vengeance!
You fools!
All right. So as you guys coast down, you hit the bottom, and you can see now where the water hits and it snakes through. It curves back to the right and the left. Which path are you going to try and guide towards?
Right.
You have an unconscious sledding
Just riding
fearball.
me, basically.
I'm like behind. I feel like I'm behind
Yeah,
you because
all right,
I've got water walking on. So I'm like,
remember.
And you do like
Keen mind, I would call out the exact right way to go.
it's almost like curling.
yeah.
Thank you for
Keen
that.
mind, I would know the way that would lead us towards the way we came.
Yes, you would. So are you guiding and shouting directions?
Yeah, that way, go that way.
All right. So as Caleb's guiding you guys moved around the side, kind of riding the water. At this point, the flood of water begins to kind of subside a bit. It's still guiding you through, but you can see now the initial burst and rushing of the rapids is not a continuous thing. There is some sort of a tapering to it. You guys just managed to have been there for the initial burst. At this point, you guys kind of coast around one side, come around, you're now going down the center of the street where you previously hid and basically like muscled two of them into a doorway after stabbing and killing them rapidly. You're now kind of gliding through the street along with the flow of the water, trying to keep above the surface. Caduceus is being pushed along by a little knot going. At this point, from one of the nearby building tops, you see two of these Centurion Yuan-Ti see you guys kind of pass beneath, and begin giving out a call. And then shouting over in the direction, pointing towards you and other buildings. your presence is now aware to at least a handful of nearby Yanti. You see them begin to their weapons were either lost in the stream or were not wielded, of course, but they're beginning to pull out their things. You guys continue to ride this forward. You're leading the path the way you can go. I need everybody to go ahead and make a general acrobatics check to try and guide their body through the water in the direction that Caleb is shouting. This is a group check.
Natural 20.
Natural 20.
Hey! What is up?
Yasha rolled a 5.
Natural 20.
All right. Those count as double successes.
Oh my
so-
god.
Unnatural 20.
Still good.
Is it a 1?
23, and Jester rolled a 23.
You guys got this shit. Like, don't even.
Okay.
Yeah, you're just out.
Jester's been trying to like make her way towards him if possible. Towards him. I don't know if she can get there.
I think. What'd she roll?
She rolled a 23. I mean, she rolled a 19 plus 4. Yeah.
I'll say with that higher roll that she's been able to make her way over towards the side of you guys, kind of, coasting along.
She doesn't actually have anything that can wake me up right
She
now.
does. She's trying to touch you so she can cast Cure Wounds.
Oh my
on
god,
you.
she has one left, doesn't she?
Yeah.
Holy
One
shit, I
spell
forgot about that.
Alrighty. So Jester just manages to make it over to the edge of you as the water, which was about maybe the flash flood 3.5, 4 feet deep, is now descending to about 2 foot. So some of you, your feet managed to catch the floor beneath, but the water is still rushing rather fast. You can continue to just go with the flow of it, or try and gather your footing. But it's up to you. But you can cast Cure Wounds on
I'm gonna
Caduceus.
cast Cure Wounds on little man.
All right, so a
I'm not
D4
even
plus.
little. Well,
You're always little
I'm
to
up,
me.
I'm up. Oh.
Let's go to what? D4 plus her Wisdom modifier.
She has to roll for that.
Yes, she does.
I hadn't.
Sorry, D8 for Cure Wounds.
You're right.
D8, not
1 point plus 4 is 5.
You're at 5 hit points.
I'm
You're into
at-
consciousness on a sled
Did I
over
lose
water.
all my hit points when I went unconscious?
Yes.
Okay. Wow.
Well, isn't that?
Yeah, when you're drowning, it brings you to 0 hit
Okay,
points.
I had 0 then. Well, fuck.
All right. Riding the water. Eventually, you guys manage to keep it going. Are you going with the water, or are you fighting it?
Might as well go with the flow.
Is the water going the way we want to go?
Yeah, I would be
Loosely, yeah.
I would be calling out this whole time which ways we want to go
Okay.
to get out of here.
So you just continue with the flow of it. The flow eventually comes to a stop on the outside of the city, maybe about 15 or 20 feet from the tree line where you first entered.
Gotta go.
Keep moving.
Gotta
All
go.
right. You guys-
Caduceus in the front, everyone behind him.
I'm also going to cast really quickly, since I have nothing else left. I'm going to cast disguise self and look like one of the lizard people.
And
Okay.
Yasha will be actually up front.
We need
just in
Caleb
front of
up
you.
front too to guide us.
Okay.
Yeah.
As a note, all the makeup is washed off.
Oh no.
Sorry. So as you guys are rushing towards the tree line, you hear the shouting in the distance. You glance over. Now the water level has stopped. You can look behind and you can see probably 24 or so Yanti have now begun to give chase. They're about 100 feet behind you, but they saw you exit and they're on their way giving chase. So now we're turning this into a skill challenge chase.
Oh my god.
As you guys are making your way through. So, as you guys are now charging into the jungle, you're not doing stealth, so your speed isn't as slow. What took you, a day and a half or so to traverse this jungle to the center, you're not, unless you want to keep stealthy.
Nope.
If you're just charging through,
Run.
all right.
Loudest
So
thing you've ever heard.
full speed, great. So we have 6 rounds of this challenge.
Oh, God.
6 rounds.
Correct. Success and failure do different things. Who wants to offer something to help in the skill challenge? You, much like the resurrection challenge for this game, think of a creative way that you can help your progression.
These are going to be
question.
dexterity checks?
It depends on what you want to do.
Question, are we under 10 minutes since we shot out the top of that pimple?
You're still under 10 minutes.
Yeah, so I'm still sped up, and so I'm going to run at the front and just shout out directions and call out like holes, things on the ground to look out for. I'm going to lead the charge.
Okay. I will say for that, go ahead and make a survival check with advantage.
Okay. Natural 20.
Oh!
All right, that's 2 successes on that one. I'll add to that.
I would offer.
So keeping a close eye, Caleb is darting ahead into the jungle, shouting out various issues. Jamedi is trying to keep up with you, but behind is also helping you kind of keep an eye and shouting out traps that he had helped you bypass before, and making sure you guys don't fall off the path that you had made your way through, that he had kind of set on his map beforehand, that avoided some of the bigger dangers in the jungle. So between the two of you, you managed to get a fair bit in there, and the sound of the tracing Yanti does not seem to be getting louder. which is good. All right, so that's one. Who does the next offer?
I was gonna say Yasha could take out the magician's judge and start cleaving machete style through the brush, like making it far easier for us to move.
Okay, so Yasha's going to mush at the front, which with a higher speed than most of you, she can definitely do, and begin to just carve through to the swaths of the jungle to make it an easier passage. All right, for her, go ahead and make an athletics check, please.
Advantage or straight up?
I mean, straight up, unless she's raging.
Oh, she's rage clearing.
Okay, I'll allow that. I'll allow that for this.
21.
That's a success.
22.
That's a success. So Yasha's now ahead of the group, just carving through. You can see there are bits where you come up to the front where there's heavy, just dense clusters of tangled vines where the path you were taking, Caleb stops you at the front because you deviated a little bit from the path where you were because you're just running too fast. And at this point, you're not used to this level of acceleration for an extended period of time. And right at the cusp of the end, at the end of your expeditious retreat, right as the spell's about to fade, you come to that group of vines. At that point, you're about to spin to warn everybody, and all you see is this blur of Yasha. Carve through them. They all fall to the ground. The path before you is open. She goes, go!
Yeah.
Oh, if you just keep running that direction. All right, so Yasha's continuing that. Who's taking the next bit?
I'll use thaumaturgy to create the sound of a rushing group of us, but throw it happening. I'm going to move us off into the jungle in the other direction.
Nice.
You can create instantaneous sound that originates from a point of your choice within range, such as a rumble within 30 feet, rumble of thunder. So I'm going to...
The rumble of thunder you can do. It has limitations to what sound you can make, but you can make a rumble of thunder.
Okay, I can't make it the cry of a raven, such as is what it says.
Oh, such as. I
Yeah.
see. I misunderstood what you're saying. There are certain small sounds you can make. The sound of a whole group.
I'm making the sound of people rummaging through.
Okay, so rustling in the bushes.
Yeah,
and
I'm pushing it away from us
All right.
and like moving us in that direction.
All right, make a deception check.
All right. Come on, man. Some sucky stuff. Ah, not bad. 15.
15. That's just barely a success.
I'll take just barely today.
Just barely. All right, great. So with that, you hear the chanting sounds, the kind of the war cry of the Auntie behind you, and it begins to divert slightly, kind of getting them off track for just a little bit. All right, who's taking the next bit? Who hasn't offered one?
There's 6 of these. I thought there was 3.
There's 6 stages of this.
Yeah.
Is there anyone like?
Everyone has to have an offering?
Is there anyone tracking us pretty closely yet?
From what you can tell, not at the moment. But you can, if you wanted to use your turn to do something to see if somebody is. What do you want to do? Yeah, your crit earlier gave a lower DC to the next check, so that helped out tremendously.
I'm going to take the rest of my ball bearings and dump them out as we run.
Okay. As a note, you're in a lush jungle.
Probably not going to get.
Probably not going to do much on this.
Okay,
Yeah, that's a hard, smooth floor type scenario. You can if you want to.
Not. Do you have anything to offer?
I have one thing,
I
but
don't know if any of my ideas are good.
do we have? We don't have eyes on the Yanti, right?
No, not at the moment.
As far as.
I would wait till they get closer before I do my
Yeah,
thing.
can we
Maybe
kinda keep-
maybe Jester.
There's 2 dozen of them. I don't want to get that close.
Well, I don't either, but if they do, I'd be ready for something.
I have something else, but I'm curious if somebody else has something.
Let's see here.
Got an oil flask.
I'm gonna
I could
deceive
drop
the
down some
jungle.
fire, but I don't think it'd work well either.
Well, sure. So I'll just, yeah, sure. I'll yell to Bo. Bo!
Yeah.
Repeat after me.
Okay.
Fluffernutter! And I'm gonna throw the keg of gunpowder behind
and I
us.
go, Fluffernutter! And I take my ninja star and I go,
Wait, is it on fire? It has to be on fire.
oh wait.
I see it and use the glove of blasting to fire 3 scorching.
I don't have fire, I use my fists!
3 scorching rays.
Do you have a second level spell?
Yeah. No, the glove. I
Oh, the
haven't
glove, yeah,
used.
you do. That's right. Okay. I will say.
I could have used the bottle rockets. I could have.
Okay. This is a combined maneuver here. I'd say for the success of this is going to be a combination of your make a roll with your ranged spell attack.
Yeah, it's 3 rays.
Yeah. They can go ahead and make a general strength roll.
General Strength.
Yes.
That was my nickname in high school. 15.
15. Nice roll. Okay. You managed to lob it behind with a fair amount of strength that kind of goes about 10, 15 feet behind you.
And if I can, I would push it with a little mage hand, a little extra, little extra top spin on it.
Okay, it kind of whoop, whoop, does a little whirl. It through the air and then poof, poof, kind of bounds a bit into the jungle behind you.
And how do I handle this? Are these?
Are you detonating it just like 15, 20 feet behind you, or are you waiting for something else to
No,
come
I'm waiting
by?
for not to throwing it back at them. Yeah.
Correct, but they're not visible yet though. You don't know where they are.
Well, I reacted to Fluffernutter
just
being
blow it up,
shouted
and
and
we'll
sing it,
make
so
a
I would
wall
track
fire.
it.
We'll make
I
a
would
wall
track
fire.
it and then hit it as it struck the ground.
Okay, would you roll?
Well, I rolled 3 times because it's 3 rays.
Correct.
So do I use the spell modifier for this or not?
You do.
Okay, so the highest roll was a 20, and then the second highest was a 12. So probably, of the 3 rays, probably only one.
What was the second one?
I rolled
Oh, so a 20 and a 12 were the
a
two highest?
20, a 7, and a 12.
Got you. Okay. So the 2 hit. Go ahead and roll damage.
Okay.
The damage is going to be important here because it is a waterlogged
Yeah.
container of black powder and may not be enough to truly like ignite or cause an explosion here or burn through the barrel. We'll see.
The barrel you said was mostly intact,
It's intact, yeah,
and
but it's wet.
yeah. Why not inside?
Sorry for the delay.
It's soaked through a little bit.
8.
Barrels are waterproof.
Total of
Beer in them.
This isn't a beer barrel. This is this
total of 12.
total of 12.
12, yeah.
That'll be enough. All right. So as it kind of darts behind, you watch the vision of Caleb spinning behind and releasing the glove in front. These 3 arcs of flame. One of them hits nearby bush and just kind of sets it aflame. The other 2, one of them hits the barrel and sends it arcing once more, and the second one hits it. It detonates, and you guys feel this blast of hot wind behind you as your hair gets blown before your face. The entire jungle around you lights for a moment with bright yellow-white light. And there in that space now, there's a couple of trees that have now set aflame, and a section of darkened crater in the ground where the barrel was. The loud blast echoes across the jungle of the island around you.
I just turned a bow and I was like, "That was amazing! How did you do that with a throwing star?"
I think these are magic throwing stars.
Oh my god!
I think I bought magic throwing stars.
I'll consider that a success. You guys keep rushing. Yeah, you assume wherever the Auntie were, they're a little unsettled by this large explosion in the direction where they're traveling, and it slows them down a bit as they try and like coast around the area where the damage is. However, there seems to be a lizardman hunting party now that is in the jungle a little ways ahead of you.
This thing won't
What did
stop.
I know?
I love
Like
it. I love it.
you guys
Keep it going.
have been running for the better part of like 2 hours now. It's a ways through this jungle to get back to the shore.
Right.
So first and foremost, I need everyone here to go ahead and make a Constitution saving throw, please.
Constitution saving throw.
My favorite saving throw.
No.
Hey.
23 for Ford, 20 for Yasha.
Good.
11.
Okay.
1.
You take a point of exhaustion there, Caleb.
10 for
And
not,
just barely succeeded.
and just rolled an 8.
1 point of exhaustion.
Okay, conditions.
18.
18. All right, you're fine.
Add
Avantika
active
and
condition. Ooh,
Jametti.
it's so easy on D&D Beyond.
Avantika takes a point of exhaustion.
Oh, shit!
All right, but you guys continue onward. Since you're just running through this jungle best you can, full sprint, it manages to keep ahead, but there is a threat of exhaustion as you continue to move. So you now begin to hear the sound, this familiar clacking and sound of the lizard men that you saw in the jungle before. Who's doing what?
That's amazing.
We're still doing this? Oh, wait.
You're
So
still doing.
we hear,
You have four total successes in the round. You had one critical
so
success,
we
which
hear a
improved one of
hunting
them.
party? We see a hunting
You don't see them yet, but you hear them in the direction you are. You hear apparently the noise and the explosion caught the attention of a nearby lizardmen hunting party.
I have these bottle rockets. If you can mage hand them away and distract them away from us with another popping sound.
and set them off at the same... Wait.
Well, I can light them, you throw, and you take it further.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure. Yes!
We'll call it.
Let's do it.
Certainly not the weirdest.
So you're doing the exact same thing with a different item. It's gonna have a higher DC, but you can do it. It's your call.
Well, gee, when you put it like that.
I'm just saying. It's something you can do. You want to do it?
I don't know. I feel deeply shamed by my suggestion now.
No, it's a great
As
suggestion.
GM.
It's a great suggestion. I'm just letting you know, like, progressively doing the same thing over and over again, it's gonna continue
Jester
to
hasn't
raise
done
the
anything
DC.
yet. She still has the thaumaturgy she could do. You can cause harmless tremors in the ground, but where? Like it doesn't say where. Oh, within 30 feet. Yeah, that's no. That's
It's a
no
cantrip.
good.
Cantrips don't have all that power there.
Yeah, they don't. Never mind. She uses it to alter the appearance of her eyes for 1 minute. She makes them black.
There you go.
Let's see
Anybody?
what else
I
she
can
do.
try to assume the form of one of the lizard people in case they make eyes on us.
Okay.
I've
so now
already
we have,
done that
you have
as
two,
well,
You have
so-
two lizard folk in the group
Okay.
now. All right.
I have no spell. I'm down.
I don't.
Doesn't have to be abilities.
Can I,
It can be just whatever you think you would do in the area to
We
help.
just don't have a lot. We've used all those
I'm running
things.
and I'm
I'm gonna
chopping.
put up the cloak and just sneak. We hear them. Do we know
You heard the hunting call them. They were
in a direction that we can identify?
yes. You can. It's somewhere kind of to the front and to the right of where you were as you guys are running
I'll
through the
just
jungle.
say, stay here, and I'm gonna put up the hood and I'm gonna dash off in that direction stealthily.
Okay. Are you guys stopping for naught then?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Do I have to roll for stealth? I
Yes, you
assume?
do. With advantage
With
because of your
advantage.
cloak.
Okay, so that's 22.
Okay. So that you are successfully stealth. This is not technically a success because this isn't actually helping
Sure,
the endeavor,
sure.
but you do manage to move ahead, and at your speed, you come upon the hunting party. You can see now there are about 6 lizard men with nets, shields, and spears that are currently making their way in the direction of near where your party is currently waiting for you. And the more time that passes, the closer the Auntie gets to your party.
I'm going to cast Mage Hand, and they're holding, you said, nets and what else?
Most 4 of them have shields and spears, and 2 of them have spears with nets, and the other ones have nets apparently like tucked behind their back. Like they're out here to catch and drag things back.
Okay, Jesus, I got nothing, man. I'm just gonna try to Mage Hand and like trip the guy in the back with his own net. Just kind of like pull it down a little.
Okay, make an Arcana check.
Arcana check.
Yes.
Oh God.
This is to see if you can influence the magical nature of your cantrip strong enough to try and trip up one of them.
Okay. Arcana check is a 20.
Okay. That's barely a success because that's not a very effective plan necessarily.
Sure. I don't know what else
But-
to do, but okay.
But well, one of them gets tripped up on the net, and the other ones kind of look back at it and start clacking at it. And you, they're complaining at the one guy that fell back like an asshole and is slowing down their trajectory. Then when a distraction, you can return, and you figure you've bought a little bit of time for your party, but not much.
Okay.
Okay.
I guess that's all I'll do. I don't know what else to do. You know what? I'm gonna, fuck it. I'm gonna cast message and tell Caleb, go! And I'm gonna go out and go, hey, fuck Todd's over here! And I'm gonna just draw their attention.
Okay.
And I tell the group, she's doing something stupid. She's distracting them. I have an idea, but I don't want to leave her. Let's go. And I start trudging through the jungle towards
All
the
right.
direction I think.
You all
Nana's in.
continue following Caleb, and they are now seemingly turning on you.
I'm gonna bolt, double dash, fast as I can go away.
All right. You're darting through the jungle.
Not back towards my friends, but like.
Kind of adjacent to the
Perpendicular,
direction.
yeah.
Okay, no worries. They're giving chase. They're falling behind you. They know this jungle very well, and they can traverse it very easily. However, you're quick and you're small. All right, so we'll save for that. 2 of them throw ranged spears at you.
Oh man.
That is going to be a 15 to hit.
No.
Okay, and no, 12. Nope. Both spears can hit two of the nearby trees, and you keep running, trying to make it through. Eventually, you hear the sound
Drink run.
as you're going. You hear the footfalls breaking through of nearby brush, and glance over, afraid to see Auntie, and you can see the shapes of the rest of your group, kind of maybe 25 or 30 or so feet to your left.
Are we able to tell the direction where the lizard men are in relation to Nod, or just Yonti?
Not at the moment. You guys are just running. I mean, the lizard men you knew were kind of off to the front and right, and you guys kind of darted at an angle, and you're guiding them still in the direction of
And
where
you're saying that we all hear the Yonti, or not hears the Yonti coming?
No.
I saw you guys through the woods, but they're
Yeah.
behind me.
Yeah, you haven't seen any of the Auntie. You've gotten enough gaining on them, but they've kind of gotten a little closer, but they haven't appeared yet.
Okay, so I can tell the direction that Nod is running, right? Or moving.
No,
You're just
You've seen us. We haven't seen you.
Correct.
Right, never mind.
so you guys just continue to run. Everyone make another Constitution saving throw, please.
Okay.
12 for Ford, 9 for Yasha.
Yasha takes a point of exhaustion. Ford barely succeeds. DC goes up by 2 every time we do this.
Fuck, really?
20 total.
20 success. Secondary point of exhaustion. Your speed is now halved.
Yep.
Oh my god. Caleb is now winded and is now starting to drag the group back a bit.
1 point of exhaustion. Jester succeeded. Oh, we're at 14.
14.
16.
Okay.
She was 16. 10.
10 point of exhaustion. That produces.
Yeah.
Anyone who has 1 point of exhaustion, your ability checks are at disadvantage right now.
Yeah.
2 points, your speed is halved.
So
I remember that well.
I have the ability to carry a large amount because of my size.
Yes.
Can I piggyback and not get too much of a roll if I throw Caleb on my back?
I will make this one of your checks.
Okay.
So you go ahead and make an athletics check.
Oh
You
man.
have disadvantage
Or you could have Yasha do it.
I'll have I'll have Yasha. Yeah, that's a better idea because
Okay.
I was like, yeah, and I'm at 5 hit points, maybe not. Okay.
Okay, so you shout the idea to Yasha. Yasha's going to go ahead and attempt to.
Athletic.
Does Yasha have a point of exhaustion?
She does.
So it's disadvantage on her athletics check.
I want
But
to.
it's the biggest
Hold on a second.
modifier.
Unless this is going to tribute to her.
Well, a natural 20 and a 12, so that's 19.
19. That's a success. Barely. That puts us at 6 total successes across the checks here. Yasha goes and throws Caleb fireman carry over the shoulder, and you guys begin running and running and running for this next additional hour now as you guys are charging through, following the path. Let's say you've gone like 3 or 4 hours of straight sprint through the forest. Sprint, stop, run. You're breathing heavy. You're sweating profusely. Your body is aching. Your mouth is just filled with the worst cotton mouth. You're dehydrated, and you can hear the yelping of approaching lizardmen and Yonti as you see the light begin to slowly break ahead of you through the trees as the tree line begins to thin and the faintest bit of blue is visible. And within a few more moments, you break through the tree line and have found yourself back to the white sand beaches of Urukazel. There, as you kind of come out into the sand, the hot kind of reflection of the sun against the light. You can see now the sun is close to setting at this point now. The sky itself has gotten slowly darker as you move past. The white beaches have now come to a faint, dull yellow and orange with the coming sunset light. Not emerges from the nearby brush, just catching up to the rest of you guys.
I'm exhausted.
On the ship! On the ship!
Yeah, right behind me.
You guys look, and there are the 2 rowboats that are still right where you left them.
If Yasha's moving towards the beach, Caleb is going to just start firing firebolt after firebolt at the tree line behind us of 120-foot range and just set the jungle on fire behind us.
Okay. I will say roll an Arcana check for me.
Natural 1.
Natural 1. Unfortunately, as a cantrip, the perpetual fiery quality of it can do bursts of damage and plops of flame, but unfortunately the tree line here is too humid. The air here is too wet, and none of the trees are catching. However, you manage to get over. Yasha throws you onto onto one of the 2 rowboats. You guys get onto, and at this point you can now see, breaching one side of the tree line, the Auntie, the other side, a group of lizard men. They kind of come to a head and look at each other and look at you, and half of each group charges at each other while the other half begins to charge towards the rowboats.
Start the motor! Start the motor!
How close are they?
They're about 40 feet away. It's a
Okay.
40-foot rush. So they're going to catch up. You guys push off, and you're rowing out. You're about 10 now, 15, 20 feet off the edge. And they catch up. They start getting their short bows ready. At this point, you hear boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
God.
Volley that shit.
Bursts of sand, columns of sand go flying into the air, and you watch as one lizardman, Avantika, burst off to the side. You look over, can see the flashes of light on the sides of the Squall Eater, as volley after volley of cannon fire is blown towards the edge of the shoreline. A couple close calls, as there's not a perfect aiming implement you need to see as you kind of dodge out of the way and big burst of water. Some of the Auntie dive into the water and are now swimming through, trying to come after you. You can see their kind of their serpentine bodies like making their way in your direction.
Caleb and I are picking them off. Eldritch Blast.
Yeah.
Hitting them in the water as you do.
I'm on the edge doing like polearm duty, like croc hunting.
No.
Eventually, as you guys get far enough away from the edge, it becomes less advantageous for them to focus on you than to focus on each other. And due to the cacophony of the explosions and the rest of the wrestling, it seems a much larger force of both the lizard people that live on this island and the Auntie that have given chase are now kind of focused on each other as a conflict, but just now spilling back into the jungle and away from the beach. As you all kind of very sore make your way towards the Squall Eater. And when now you can see offshore, the mist or the mistake has also been pulled off the shore, seemingly repaired enough to be at least semi-serviceable, though it's only been a day or so, and the repairs probably aren't long-haul permanent. But for the first time in a very, very long time this day, you all take a deep breath. Some of you taking a short nap as you row yourself to the sunset over at the distant far shores of the ocean. Towards the ships, that means safety. And that's where we're going to take a break.
Oh my God. Why did we not take a short rest right when we started?
It's your thing.
I know. Why didn't I fucking think about it? Damn it.
Yeah.
That was gnarly.
The whole time.
See, you're good. You're good. You're good. Water is your friend. You're good.
That was a lot.
Okay, then. Damn.
I've never felt more useless.
Oh, fuck.
Magical cards.
That was a teacher.
Do we really
That was a
only
teacher.
have
It's only a
Mutter
feature we
fingers,
actually learn from
flop-
these mistakes.
floppers,
Otherwise,
and
it's just
words?
It's just.
No, there's also Smudge and...
I have a giant pile of stuff in the other room. Man.
Yeah, we got that.
I want Mises peanut butter bubbles.
Nope. I don't have those.
That's all they had at Schmodge Me. Wait, I don't even know what that is.
I don't either. Anyway, friends, we're going to go to a break here in just a moment. We'll return, but in the meantime, we have another Wormwood giveaway of these fantastic, delightful Podog Dice Vault, which is magnetized, opens up to keep all your dice, possibly even a couple miniatures in there. Well kept, beautiful orange color for the Halloween season that we're still celebrating today, damn it.
Yeah.
So to enter this, you need to jump over to the Critical Role Twitch chat. That's twitch.tv/Critical Role, and enter the keyword once. The keyword is Hydra. Hydra. We'll come back at the break for a winner. Once again, only people in the United States and Canada, excluding Quebec, can enter. We're working on it. But we'll come back with a winner here in just a moment. So sit tight. Be right back. And welcome back, everybody. So. So we have a winner of the fantastic Podog Dice Vault. I believe that's how it's pronounced, or not. I might be messing it up. But regardless, the winner is F Miller 8. F Miller 8, congratulations!
Yeah,
We'll get this Dice Vault sent out to you ASAP. All right.
Don't ever not look.
You just automatically get a short rest just because that was the most
Yeah, do we just
heinous,
collapse
strenuous.
in exhaustion as soon as we hit the deck?
Nope.
Oh, cool.
Because you row into the ship, and there's still the occasional the final shots are sent off to deflect any interest in following or pursuing you towards the boats. As you guys are trying to make some distance here, you look over at Avantika, who has her one ungloved hand. You can see kind of the gap where the open wound is just a little bit of blood trickling down her forearm where the eye once was. And she kind of looks at it and closes her fist, and closes her eyes. and you feel the rowboat suddenly pick up speed. And you watch as the water and the waves now kind of give an additional thrust, like the ocean itself is like rising and pushing the boat forward. And you watch Avantika kind of open her eyes and smile and looks over at Ford and goes, well, better luck next time, huh? The boat is now like speed boating across the surface of the water. The other rowboat kind of left behind in its wake.
One die roll, man.
One die roll.
And I said,
As you approach the outskirts of the Squall Eater, the rope ladders are thrown over the edge, down into the water, and with that, you all eventually climb up onto the top as some of the crew goes over to retrieve and ratchet up and bring the rowboats back onto the ship. But now you all clamber onto the deck of the large ship and take a moment of respite and breather as the crew of the Squall Eater there awaits. You can see their Boulder Gut, the large ogre. She stands there, arms crossed, with the stretched leather tunic now, kind of strapped on each side of her torso. Avantika rises, and Vera waits, her right hand kind of soothsayer-like assistant, or for this would be considered the deckhand and spiritual leader of the ship.
Can I pause you for 1 second, Matt?
Yes, you may.
Did you all fucking take off your costumes?
Yeah.
No, we're still wearing ours.
is that super glued on or something?
No.
I took mine off.
That I saw.
It got uncomfortable.
Yeah, there's bad luck.
You have clothes underneath your fiber.
That's true. If there's any of us that I would not be able to truly be certain.
There are imprints being left on that
pants.
chair.
Yeah.
Sticky butt. Peel off.
Yeah.
Peel off.
Oh,
Little hearts.
Sorry, Matt.
that's okay. So, as you all bring yourselves onto the ship here, Vera approaches Avantika and helps her to her feet and says, so, how did it go? Tell us. And Avantika shows her hand. It was a resounding success. And I would say that our new compatriots have proven their worth with flying colors. She goes and gives like a, ow. And I do believe, and you see Jametti sitting on the ground and goes, yes, you have earned what our contract assured you. Please, Vera, if you could retrieve the payment. Vera leaves, and a moment comes back with a small chest and hands it over to Jametti, who sets it into his pouch and satchel. He stands up for a second, nods his head. I hope you understand that with all due respect, this is our last time working together. And the captain says, I understand, but it is your loss. There is always more work for you. Where would you like to be dropped off?
In the graveyard.
At this point, Vera says, Captain, at this moment, it appears that we are maybe 11 days of supplies, given the fact that our crew has now swelled. As such, we could probably make it back to Doctor to also complete the repairs on the mist, as it is seaworthy, but I do not know how long. So that would be my recommendation. Maybe making a stop or two along the way, whatever's close by. And Captain considers. Very well. I guess we will make our way westward onto Doctor to get repairs done, to supply up, and should you wish to stay, make our way to the next leg of our journey. Who knows? It seems that you are up for your own rewards to be reaped, huh?
Indeed. Such a mighty display on the way back.
I feel like I would be left wanting if I didn't try and pursue the same sort of glory.
Of course. Well, these gifts are paltry. Once Okatoa is truly free, then the true blessing can be given.
Captain, may I ask, you knew of this location already. Do you have a lead on another?
I have a lead on someone that should be in Dark Toe that will be able to, with the right amount of coin, give us the information we seek. Hopefully. If not, well, we'll be sitting there with our thumbs up our asses. But I've paid well enough, and this person has come through before, so fingers crossed, eh?
Indeed.
Regardless, I think we could all use a bit of rest, huh?
Looks over to Caduceus.
That would be amiable at this point.
Understood. Get Jeremiah to get food cooking immediately. I think a fine meal and a full night's rest is in order. Friends, I'm impressed. And I'm thankful that you not only upheld your side of the bargain, but you proved yourselves as quite formidable mercenaries. I mean, no disrespect to some of my crew, but when we get back to Doctor, she looks at some of the crew. Turn around. Some kind of... Maybe we'll do some trade-off, eh? Send some of them over to the Mist, and maybe you'll stay with me for a while.
We would certainly entertain that very notion. It's hard to think past any sort of arrest.
Sorry, I thought that was hypothetical, and that we were just, talk about that later, which we should do.
Very well. Then we will get some sleep. In the morrow, we will discuss how much money we can make together. We'll discuss. We could probably make a stop or two along the way if you're interested. Bring up the map and see what you want to do. And when you've had a bit of rest, maybe a glass of wine.
Of course.
All right. Go. Rest. Sleep. I shall do the same.
Good night.
She walks back into the quarters. Vera staying there on the deck. Jamedi makes his way down to his quarters. So, what would you like to do?
Go to our quarters, I guess?
Could we have a conversation near the bow of the ship, perhaps, away from ears?
Sure.
Is it empty towards the bow?
You can find a bit that seems a little more remote, but there are deckhands. There are folks that are always keeping watch. Navigator.
I'll be right back. You guys find a spot. I'll meet you there. And I'll go back and I go, Jeremiah, give me that. I just take like bread or whatever he has like kind of prepared.
Okay, come to Jeremiah. Is this kind of like you eventually start shouting until you find Jeremiah. Jeremiah, you see is this like mid-40s halfling fellow, like pale but well dressed in colorful silks and kind of like vibrant makeup. He has this like very kind of from some of the theater productions you've seen, he seems almost made up for the stage, but just to cook. Big smile, big curled waxed mustache, hair parted and curled on the sides, kind of like this light brown auburn hair. Portly halfling fellow, and as you kind of shouting his name, he goes like, hello?
Yeah.
Are you looking for me?
Yep, Jeremiah.
I'm Jeremiah.
Hi.
What's your name?
Bo.
Bo, yes.
You exchanged names.
I am making food.
What do you have like right now? Something ready? I want to just like chew on something while we talk.
Fine, here you go. And hands over like a somewhat stale loaf.
Think you have like a sausage to go with that?
No, they are being prepared, and I wish not to serve something that is unfinished.
Water. Wine.
Grabs a thing of wine, a small thing of a small jar, and says, "You can fetch your own water."
Thank you. Sorry, I'm just hungry as fuck. And I go back to the group.
All right, you guys patiently wait for Bo to return with a stale.
I got appetizers.
Okay,
there we go.
That's good.
I should start by thanking all of you for putting yourselves in harm's way again. I did not expect that to go the way that it did, but that seems a repetitive notion at this point.
What the fuck actually happened down there? We haven't really gotten a clear description, and we're all kind of confused.
Yeah, I knew when she showed that exuberance at diving down that it was a matter of urgency, and I just couldn't catch her. We made our way down this well into this open, this sort of spherical room, and at the bottom, underneath some algae, there was a recession, and it looked like it had a space for like an orb, right? Like the eye that's in my sword. And in my dullardly moment of trying to figure out how the fuck I would get it in there, she reached out and she has the same sort of thing in her hand, and she put it in before I could put the sword in, and it ripped the eye straight out of her hand. Like, just pulled her hand back and just blood was coming out of it. And I thought it had done something to her, but that's when I saw these arcane, like, symbols light up and they shoot across the floor and straight up to where you guys were at above the water.
Yeah, we saw them.
You saw them come out?
Mm-hmm.
What happened?
Yeah, connected to the pillars, and that's when everything started flooding. Then it was just running for our lives at that point. I don't know. I didn't see much else.
That type, it was in a hurry, but the type of runes that were in that chamber were one of protection, some sort of ward that I don't understand. It's old.
Protection?
And it shook the entire room we were in. I thought maybe there were 3 locks down there, but you only saw one, so
I did.
Presumably there are 2 more places in the ocean or in the world. For you?
One more.
That seems like a lot. That's
There was more than one.
I
There was
mean,
more than one creature. There was
there's also the temple where we found this thing that had the
Yeah.
snake, the naga.
But no recession. I can't remember when we found the actual cat's eye, the sphere. It wasn't in a recession. Or was it just resting at the bottom of
It
that?
was just sitting in a pool of water, and you found that amongst other piles. It seemed to be less of a temple and more of a
Scavenged artifact.
a scavenged artifact amongst what looked to be a marrow den that was just expanding beneath the swamp.
3 onyx eyes, 3 ivory eyes, 3 amber eyes.
The 3 different creatures.
What was the one that was inside of you? Is it the onyx one?
No, it was the amber one.
It was the amber one.
Yeah.
shit.
That big serpent with all the eyes
What was the
like
color?
in her
Which one
was
captain's.
Avantika's?
Yeah.
The same amber, yeah.
Is it the same color? There's amber?
Yeah, I mean they're yellowish amber, yellowish orange. Just depends on where the light hits it.
So in the amber was the giant serpent with the tidal wave.
Yeah, the same that, she had on that decorated around her office. I mean, that's Ukatoa of the...
Ukatoa.
But you saw when we were in the boat, she closed her hands and you felt that surge in the water?
Yeah.
Yeah, like, I think because she got there first and offered her orb, she was rewarded with some sort of oceanic control or power over water height.
She controlled the water?
I think so.
She's the one who made the flood?
No. Back when we were in the sail in the rowboats.
Oh, when we took off.
Yeah.
I was curled up in the bottom of the well of the rowboat, just sort of cowering, so I didn't see any of that. But so she got something for giving up her.
I think so. Yeah. I don't know why the water
amber
surged
hand.
out of the temple like that. I mean,
Well, we also heard a large cracking sound, as if a lock had been broken, or
you said they were
a wall had been broken.
protective nature.
Yeah.
So 3 murals, 3
Creatures,
beings, 3 chosen ones,
And 3 eyes. In
and 3 different eyes in each.
A creature of the sea, a creature of the air
Of the
with fire,
sky and a creature of the earth.
and a creature of the earth.
Do I remember anything from hitting the books in school? Of
Roll a history
gods?
check.
Whoa.
It would be history and not religion.
And this would be history, technically. Oh, actually, history or religion. It
Well,
would be.
they're the same. They're the same for me. Same modifier. 17.
Yeah.
17.
Herstory.
Okay. So, you recall tales. I mean, there are many powerful creatures that have existed throughout history. Entities that are either elemental in nature or are, primal forces of power. There are some that are guardians of the world, some that are guardians of the elements within their own planes. There are many, many types of horrors and protectors throughout history. Thinking back to some of your studies, both historically and in your cracking the tome of the occasional religious thing against your better will in your classes, there are some entities that were left in the wake of the divergence. Avatar-like entities, or at least creations that were meant to be an extension of the power of the gods. Some of them are guardians in the world. Some of them still remain true to the religions or the gods that created them. Some, over time, have found their own interests. Some have grown obsessed with their own power without their creator and master to chastise or watch over them and see themselves as a new god, even. Thinking back, you don't have all the information, but you do know that thinking back to the murals and the things you've heard about Ukutoa being said. Ukutoa was worshipped by the Kinau, which were the indigenous people of the Menagerie Coast and the Slovene Islands in the vicinity. This Ukutoa was one of these avatar entities that was created by Zahir, the Cloaked Serpent, to be one of its many kind of ambassadors of power and one of its greatest warriors in the conflict of the divergence, or the calamity.
Big kaijus kind of thing.
Essentially.
Okay.
But when Zahir and the rest of the betrayer gods were banished, along with the prime deities, they were now the most powerful beings on the surface of Exandria, and as such, new religions began to spring up around them, and the Kinau of this area took to worshipping Ukutoa, and Ukutoa began to preside like the next best god there was. And you get the sense that these other two entities might be similar relics of this time. Powerful beings created before or during the calamity and then left with their gods now sealed away to become forces of power of their own. You don't know if they've been sealed in the same fate that Ukutoa was, but based on what you saw in that temple, they seem to be connected, or at least have similar structure of worship.
Some heavy shit. Level 5.
So I say all of that.
Sure.
I read this one paragraph once, and in like the filigree, there was like a monk with like a trumpet up his ass, and that's why I remembered this section so well. In fact, I still remember the book, but if we go back to the library, I could still find it. We could figure out more about this.
If you were to find a place of deep research, you could probably find more information about these entities, yes.
That would be a choice.
Oh, what is, speaking of choice, what's yours?
Yeah, she said for all of us to hear that the real reward comes from releasing the serpent. Is that your intention? Is that what you desire?
No, right?
Feels like she has bigger plans.
I'm not a crazy person, all right? A giant serpent from the calamity.
The divergence. Yeah.
Nah, that sounds that's some medieval shit.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
So
that is bigger than anything I've ever heard of.
So what are we doing?
Are we pirates now? Is
Are
that
we
the
biding
thing?
our
'Cause
time
I
till
don't
we
like
leave
the water at all. I don't want to be on a boat anymore.
I know, and Caduceus, I know your experiences with water have been less than thrilling.
I mean, I've actually had a good time, but just I've died a few times, but I'm great.
I think the question really
is what we're going to have to do about this. I mean, this is the direction that we're heading. This is what's being put in front of us. I don't know if running headlong into the next temple is the best option. I think maybe
agree.
If you didn't find the answers you were looking for down in the water, maybe it's time to look somewhere else.
Well, if I might, Ford, I don't know much about how this magic works. But if there's 3 of these things, right? At least 3 of these.
It seems so.
These eyes that need to be placed to unlock the 3 temples or whatever and release the crazy thing under the ocean. 1 has been activated. 1 is inside you. There's one. Maybe we should try to find that one. And with that one, we could then safely get the one out of you because we would have the 3rd one and we could just go break it somewhere and then we know that no one could unlock it ever.
I'm all for trying to get knowledge out of the captain about. She seemed to act like she knew who the 3rd person was or had been.
She also seems very interested in you. And don't get me wrong, she's hot and all, but I question her motives. Feels like she's, I don't know.
She looks at him like a skeleton key. She needs him for what she wants.
I agree with that, and I think she's understood that her sexuality can be wielded as a weapon.
I see that as well.
Okay.
And thank you for the lookout. Frankly, between us, I actually tried to keep her underwater after she got away real fast.
Fucking
though.
brutal.
Yeah, and then I had to act like, nah, look at the ground. It was terrible. I fucking failed.
All things considered, I think it would be best if we left on good terms.
I agree. I'd like to find out what she knows about the 3rd and then maybe ask for a bit of respite before we continue. I actually do not feel very comfortable.
Let's get to port and restock, and that's when we'll figure out.
I doubt she would allow us to leave on any terms.
I don't know.
She needs what's in him.
What if we surprise her? Tie her up. Then Jester can do her zone of truth thing. We can find out everything she knows.
I think
Slit her throat and sink her ship.
I would be all for that given the circumstances of what Bo just outlined. Big consequences looming that are age-old, timeless things. But if she can control water now, I would be concerned that that effort might fall short and then we'd be super fucked. I just don't know what her abilities are at this point.
Perhaps some kind of agreement to share information with the understanding that you're both working towards the same goals, and maybe it would be better to have 2 groups doing this instead of 1.
Yes, I need more info, Caleb. I need more data, more knowledge, more. I mean, you read books on this stuff. There has to be someone out there that knows more about this before we just charge in.
She's already said that she's sent people out to do this work. It wouldn't be that much different, I suppose.
If we have what she needs, she'll have to play nice.
But if we just leave her, she could go off and do God knows what.
As opposed to what?
She has to find
We can stay
others
with her, we can
like
stop
them.
it before she does it.
Really can't.
I think she's only interested in the one creature, so she's only interested in this type of eye. I don't even want to start to think about the onyx eyes or the ivory eyes.
Yeah, if we want to leave, we are not going to walk away. We're going to sneak away. She's not going to let go of you. You are a key that she needs. She said herself that greater things come when the serpent is released. The giant, godlike serpent. And I would ask you, we're all here, we like you. And if you are being completely forthright with us, we're good. But if we get the slightest whiff that you are after what this woman is after, well, I can't speak for them. I'm not interested in being here anymore.
Yasha puts her hand on your shoulder and says,
Faith is a funny thing. Be careful where you place it. It can give strength or it can lead to terrible things.
Thank you, Yasha. I understand your concern, Caleb. I do. I have small curiosities just from the things that I've seen. I have no interest in dealing with matters that predate time as we know it. I'm pretty simple. These days I've spent with you are the most exciting of my entire life. I'm not looking to end them or the world by frivolously giving up something that I barely understand. I'd like to try to ask if we can go separate ways, and if she says no, I would play that we would join her in her voyages in the morning and then sneak away. But I'd like to try and do it amicably if we can.
I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with maybe asking for the mist. I think maybe Caduceus has a good point if we can convince her that we're still part of her crew but doing our own recon.
To be honest,
yes,
it would be worth actually following through with it anyway. She knows things that we don't. We get to find out. And
Yeah, we took all that time to learn how to sail the damn thing.
Also, that boat is fucked, and they could shoot us to bloody hell if they wanted to, so it won't be that big of a stretch if we just wanted private sleeping quarters.
For sure. I think either way, we have to make it to Darktow.
I agree.
And we need a second ship. Third, if she doesn't have a specific location, 2 ships find that thing faster than 1.
Mm-hmm.
It's true.
What do you say? We'll have to play along until we get to Darktow, and it is not somewhere that you normally want to go if you're not of the pirate variety.
Yeah. None of us have any chance, any other option but to play along.
Yeah.
Regardless.
Is this some sort of pirate town, or?
Yeah, I think it's like a pirate island. It's like a hideaway. You don't go there unless you're looking for trouble, or unless you are the trouble.
It's awesome. Here, speaking of trouble,
Kind of exciting.
are you going to take her up on that glass of wine
Shit.
that she
Yes.
has mentioned like 3 times?
Yeah.
What's Jester doing right now?
Fuming.
Touching her lips.
Jester is carving something into the bow of the boat, and we don't know what. She's quiet. She's got just the axe, and she's moving it in a direction without looking.
Yes.
Trying to look.
I suppose I should, to keep relations up.
Yeah, well. You do what you have to.
Yes. Yes. All right, I'll see y'all underneath. And I'll.
Wait. Take this vial of acid just in case. I don't know. Maybe she'll try something. Just splash it in her face. I don't know.
In her face?
I don't know.
I think it just burns. I don't know.
Sure. Whatever.
Is it magic acid?
Nope. Just acid.
Okay. Did you make this?
I did.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Are we now just going to go and sleep and properly sleep? And
Well, no, not until he comes back from his rendezvous.
I think I'm going to go to sleep. I don't know about the rest of you. I'm going to pat him on the shoulder and just for fun, cast protection from poison.
Ooh.
You got an hour.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Caduceus.
Hell, you know.
I'm gonna make you a fan of water before your life is done. I swear.
I don't mind it. I think I just have an issue with the things that are in it and being under it, and I'm going to go to sleep and probably, throw up.
I don't like it at all.
You're gonna be my strongest acolyte. You're gonna
not.
preach the words of the water.
It's terrible.
No, it's really not. I mean, look how good you're doing, right? You're thriving, surviving.
This was the worst day of my life.
I can't believe it.
Your whole life.
I mean, as far as I can remember, this was a really bad day.
And water had a lot to do with it.
Yeah, okay. I'll get back to you on that.
Sure.
And I'll make my way towards the captain's
We're
quarters.
gonna figure out a way
Okay.
to breathe underwater. It's gonna be
Oh,
okay.
I don't care about being underwater. I just don't
All right.
looking at it.
Come on.
So you guys all go to rest? Okay.
Exhausted.
All right, you guys go to rest.
A long rest.
You head your way to
No
the captain's quarters?
I do.
All right. You head to the door, it's closed. You hear, like, for a moment, you hear this kind of, sounds like the sound of rushing water.
She's cleaning up.
I'll try the door.
Okay, it opens up. It's the normal kind of office, kind of den setup, but there's the balcony out back that opens up, and there in the balcony, Avantika's standing on the balcony, and you can see there's this like column of water that's rising up out of the ocean, and she's nude, and it's just washing her. Like she's kind of in the process. She's in the throes of kind of manipulating this water. She's just learning whatever this new gifted power that she has, and is just, her hair is twirling up into the stream, and it's this beautiful almost dance between her and this elemental force that she now has. And she kind of looks back over her shoulder at you, knowing that you've been there for at least a couple minutes. I'll be just a moment.
Don't rush on my account.
Eventually the water splashes down and off the side. She walks back out of the night air and pulls her hair up and kind of ties it off.
I've seen this film.
Takes the little silk robe and places it over and sits down. There are already 2 glasses placed on the table, and she uncorks it and pours 2 glasses.
To your success.
To our success in time, eh?
One can hope. It's only fair. You've been on this journey far longer than I have.
This is true.
Not the best wine you've had, but it's serviceable.
Not aerated.
Well, I am excited for you to experience this.
I am as well. Is it everything you thought it would be?
I've only but scratched the surface, and I've never felt a connection like this with the sea that has been my life. It's incredible. I can only do it in bursts, but I can cause it to swell and move and part and flood and shift. It's soon. She reaches out and touches the top of your hand. Soon, I promise. Now, we were talking before, and I think it's only fair. And she takes another big sip. Your blade is very interesting. I knew one other who had a blade very similar. Referred to it as the Sword of Fathoms.
Sword of Fathoms.
The previous chosen.
Can you tell me more about this person who wielded it?
His name was Vanslin. A fine sailor and a foolish coward he ended up to be, but he was the one that opened my eyes to the destiny for Kotora. We traveled together for a number of years before he just abandoned and absconded with something important. I've been trying to find out where he went, but he is very slippery, and wherever he is, either what you have in your sword is what he took away, or wherever he is, he has the third with him.
And this Vandrin, you say he told you about the Sword of Fathoms, or he had a Sword of Fathoms?
He carried the same blade.
Carried the same one. Was there an area, a destination, a direction that you last knew that he was going? Is it in our interest to try and find him?
It is very much in our interests. We were going to go and visit this very island some time ago, when he was the only one to have one of these orbs.
How did you find, if you don't mind my asking, yours?
Well, I had to kill a number of men. It was being auctioned off in Port du Malais. And there was a collector. Word had gotten to us that this artifact was sold off to this individual. And, well, needless to say, he put up a bit of a struggle.
I'm sure he did.
But thankfully, this collector enjoyed nights long at sea, and that happens to be our specialty. So his corpse now adorns one of the many beautiful islands, and, well, now I have this beautiful reminder in the hand. You can see it's now mostly healed over. But there is like a scar where this orb once resided in her palm.
I'll stand and just kind of pace around the quarters, looking at the various iconography of the serpent.
As you're pacing, she just kind of talks towards you. It's very interesting that you carry the same blade as Vandrin did. And come to me with what could very well be the same orb. Do you know this one? This Vandrin?
I don't. Well, we should find him.
Make a deception check.
$23. This sword came to me in a very unusual way. I've been a sailor for many years myself, and was lost at sea during a storm. And when I woke up, I found myself on the shore, and there in the waves next to me was this sword. I don't know how I got there, but as soon as I grasped it, it changed everything. The sword, however, did not have the eye we found later, my companions and me.
Who else was on this ship with you?
Various other sailors. Our captain.
Who is your captain?
Captain Twitchwood. Do you know him?
She smiles. I appreciate that you are a very accomplished liar. But so am I. And the only reason I still sit here before you with the dozen or so scars I carry is because I have been very keen at seeing through the same skill.
A 23 level skill? Okay.
His name was Captain Wiggledick.
Then I'm sure you can understand the need for secrecy for a small circle.
You know Vandrin, don't you?
I do.
And he was on this ship that you shipwrecked on, eh? Do you remember where the storm was?
I remember where we found the stone.
Do you remember where the storm was?
The storm?
That sunk the ship you were on?
Yes.
And this was the last time you saw Vandrin?
I feel like you know the rest of this story, and I'm at a disadvantage.
I don't necessarily. I've not seen Vandrin since he absconded with this... many things. But he would not travel without both that sword you carry and the orb he stole from us. So wherever that ship has sunken, there's a very good chance that it has the third missing orb. Do you remember where the ship sunk? She reaches down and pulls out a map and rolls it out on the table before you. Put your map up.
Yeah.
Just splash acid on it. Got this.
Oh, man.
Get it.
Now, between you and I,
yes.
We were. There was a storm. Do I remember?
You do recall.
Okay.
Actually, it was somewhere coming back along this trade route.
Okay.
And somewhere in this space, the storm had blown through, and this is where it sank. And you washed up.
Dark Toe's over here.
Dark Toe's over here. You washed up on this island here.
We're over here.
You guys are over there at Urukezel. You washed up over here. But the storm was in this vicinity.
Okay. Yep. Fuck it. Yes. I do remember where the ship sank.
Then, my friend, I think we're going to do even more amazing things together.
I agree. I believe that will have to wait until we find ourselves on Dark Toe, though.
I've been patient this long. I can be patient a bit further. Very well. And she kind of leans forward with the wine glass very close and goes, "It's been a very long day. I think rest is in order."
I would agree.
She takes a big, long drink of wine, sets it down. Well, there are ways to complete a hopeful future pact together. Many different ways. So,
fade to tentacles.
Yeah, I'm gonna go for it. Yeah, I'm going for it. I will. Oh god. Okay. Yep. I will keep Avantika's hand and walk around the desk. And I will try the old lean in and see what the reaction is.
Man, all right.
Oh man, I'm getting some Twitch wood right here.
Quickly, her hand grabs the back of your head and pulls you in.
Oh, shit.
I feel very mixed about this whole thing.
Yeah.
She's a very powerful woman, and you find yourself very quickly overpowered. And you are allowed to... for the sake of brevity. Not the most restful evening you've had, but an evening is had.
How many points of exhaustion?
Make a Constitution check.
No, I'm never gonna do that in a game. Sure, go for it then. That's your own day.
60.
No.
You succeed the check, but you disappoint your dungeon master.
So, I wouldn't call it a romantic evening.
Sure.
But a very
An adrenaline
union of two business partners of a similar goal.
The sound of fish slapping against.
God!
They're both of the sea.
Right in the blowhole.
And we fade to black.
See? Do I make my way back to quarters before sunup? I don't know if I want to stay the entire evening there.
You do fall asleep together.
Oh, okay.
Unless you choose to not wish to.
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna stay. I'm not gonna stay.
Okay.
No, you don't walk out. You don't walk out of the captain's quarters at sunup. Plus, we're super tired. So I will leave and try and stealth back into the quarters with everyone else.
I have a passive perception of 18.
I know.
Hopefully, you're super asleep.
I know. Roll a stealth check.
Come on, compromise gods. 18.
Fuck.
All right. You carefully and quietly tiptoe your way through the hallway to your assigned quarters, of which you are sharing with whom? Caduceus. Caduceus, one eye suddenly opens as you are keen to be somewhat aware, living alone out in the middle of a dangerous wood, to any sort of aberrant noise in the vicinity. You hear the faint creak of very gentle footsteps as Ford makes his way into your chambers.
Can I figure out what happened just by looking at him?
Yeah.
Bad sense of smell.
Sleep well with your bad decisions.
As you all rest, a long rest at sea, as the Squall Eater and the Mistake make their way towards Dark Toe to the far west. We'll end tonight's game there. We'll pick up there next week. And also, everyone levels up. Everyone's level 7 now.
Cheers!
Oh, that's a great ending. That's a good finish.
It's a good so to that degree, while I have you guys here, let's roll some hit points. Sorry, roll some hit points for those who are
Do
present.
we recover our exhaustion?
One point. Yeah, it's one. Yeah, over the next couple of days you will. So we'll say, because this is a multi-day travel to get to Dark Toe, so yeah, your big points of exhaustion will be gone by the time it matters.
I'll let Yasha roll for.
I should probably roll for Laura. You think? She should appreciate that.
That's, hey, it's your head, man.
D8 for me, right?
D8 for you, yeah.
D8 for me as well.
Oh,
5, nice.
Pitiful.
It's a D8 plus your Constitution, yeah?
Yep.
So 9 for me. 9.
Wow, that's a 1.
We roll
ones?
ones for hit points. That's fine.
That's a 2.
Nice.
No, that's not. It's better.
Thanks.
71.
8.
There you go. Not.
Are we rolling?
So I re-roll a 1?
No.
And
Just if you roll.
I reroll ones for hit points.
Yeah.
Just because rolling one for hit points to level up is like the fucking worst.
Okay, so rolling a d8, right?
Correct. What'd you get, Caleb?
I rolled a 2, so that's a
right.
con bonus. Gets me to 4 points up.
4 more hit points.
6.
House.
There you go.
So I got
Points to you?
Yeah, so that turns my roll.
To be fair, you guys have been rolling fucking great for hit
Yeah, we
points
really
for like
have.
many levels.
We really,
It's
really
time for there to be some balance.
Yeah.
I feel like I should re-roll this again.
No, you take a good one, dude.
Stop
You did it in front of all of us.
Okay, I don't like it.
I rolled a 2, so that can...
I rolled good at hit points. This is bullshit.
5.
You're so weird, Sam.
It just feels cheap.
How's it feel cheap.
Because I rolled a 1 first.
But I reroll ones because one.
I know, you're a good man.
I already said it.
You're a good man.
As a player, it's the worst feeling. 2 sucks still, but it doesn't suck as much as a 1.
Uh-huh.
That's how I do it.
Why do I get it at level 7?
Yeah, you do manage HP, right?
All right. Well, we're not going to sit here and subject you guys to us slowly leveling up at the table.
This is entertaining.
Although I'm sure there are a few that would love to see it. We got the important part out for you guys. We'll pick up here next week to see what's in store for the company of the Squall Eater, of which the Mighty Nein have joined. The union of partnership of Captain Avantika and Ford, and the imminent Dark Toe in your future.
Semen everywhere.
Oh man, not a drop to drink.
No.
No.
I don't even know.
Wasn't even great. Wouldn't even go to one.
Nope.
I think it finally happened.
Easy.
I think you finally broke me. I'm broken now. I'm a broken man. On that note, have a wonderful night. We love you guys. And is it Thursday yet? Good night.